1, fading in live. Hey guys, welcome to Hotpot Podcast. I'm joined today by Hassan Akhtar, all the way from actually the UK, but he's a dental student in Plovdiv, Bulgaria. Hassan, how you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Doctor. How are you? You're right.
Yeah, good. It's you're off uni, aren't you, because of the whole lockdown? What's all that about?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. So basically, because of COVID, uni last minute decided to close for 2 weeks. So I just thought I'd take the opportunity to come home and self-isolate, of course,
Yeah, gotta stay
while
in.
I'm here. And then whenever uni's open again, I just got to fly back. So yeah.
Yeah. Just checking, is the sound okay, guys? Every now and then we have an issue, but it should. I think it's looking fine. Yeah. So you're in what year are you in at the moment?
So I'm in fourth year now. So we've just started fourth year.
Out of six.
Out of 6 years, yeah. The 6 years is more like half a year, I'd say, because it's just basically clinics.
Mm.
But in terms of theory-wise, it's 5 years.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because it's very different to the UK because you guys do a master's, not a bachelor's degree. Um,
Yeah,
and you,
that's true. So basically, it's because they call it dental medicine. So we get Doctor of Dental Medicine at the end.
mm,
Because a lot of medical subjects, as well as so. For example, in the first 2 years, sorry, the medics and the dentists have basically the same subjects,
right.
except the dentists have extra added on the dental subject. So they have it a little bit tougher, but obviously you've got to make sure you pass all the medical subjects as well. Like I'm in fourth year, but next semester we're doing ophthalmology. The year after we're going to be doing obstetrics and gynecology. So a lot of things that you would expect dentists to obviously need to know about, we still have to cover.
So we spoke to Heloise the other week on Friday Night Live, and she said the same thing. So it's definitely an Eastern European thing where they think dentists need to be able to deliver babies. For some reason, I'm not quite sure why. It's not caught on in the UK, fortunately, because that's not what I signed up for. But fair enough.
It's like, yeah, and you expect them to be a bit more lenient on you in terms of like, oh, you might not need to know this, but in fact, it's the complete opposite. Because of their dental students, the medical background is more strict on this. They say, you might have. They basically tell us that you might have the mentality that you might not need to know this, but we will still make the exam very difficult for you. So make sure you study every single part of it, and it can get a bit difficult at times because obviously the dental subjects are very heavy as well. So you've got to try and find. It's very important to find a balance when you're there in terms of what to study for and when. But
Yeah.
especially when we're in fourth year, like clinics now. So learning theory is knowing your theory, sorry, is very important before seeing a patient. So it's kind of like
Janita's
this to us.
saying we just learned the very basics of gynecology. You're not actually delivering like difficult babies and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, Janita is basically she just graduated
Yeah,
from our
yeah.
university.
I think I've featured her on the Instagram. So yeah, thank you for joining us, Johnny. And guys, there's 20 of you here. Get some likes and shares in there. Hit that share button. Stick it to like Facebook and Twitter and stuff. So more people can listen to Hassan and his very wise words. And ignore me, of course.
Now we're here for you.
What
We're here for you.
What do you think the difference is between a UK dental school and a Bulgarian dental school from your point of view? Because you've maybe got a little bit of insight on both.
Yeah, well, basically, I've had the amazing opportunity to do is since joining, being featured on your pages, being connected to many dental students in the UK. And the main thing is, I feel, is in the UK, the dental students have the clinical experience earlier than us, whereas we start in fourth year. I think they start in second year or something. But then I think, we have to do more treatment on patients within a shorter amount of time. So how it works in our university is a point system. So, for example, in conservative dentistry, which involves fillings and root canals, we have to get, I think, 15 points this semester for just that subject. And like a surface of filling is 1 point, and one root canal is 3 points. And you have to do that to pass the semester. And that's only in fourth year. Whereas I think the British students, they have less. I don't think it's a point system there. I'm not completely sure about that, but I do know they don't see as many.
We didn't have a point system. We had what was competency based system. So you
Okay.
had to have gone through a certain procedure, whether it's caries removal or a plastic filling or root canal, start to finish without help, before they would sign you off and say you were okay to pass on to the next stage.
Yeah, right. That makes sense. That makes sense. with us, it's kind of scary. I mean, the way Bulgaria does it is the first 3 years it's all theory, so it's very theory
Mm.
based, except for physics. At the end of second year, you have to do a very big exam, and if you don't pass the exam, you don't pass the year, and you have to do the year again. And the exam is basically it's basically a dental technician's kind of thing where you basically create a denture, align the teeth, the artificial teeth, and do wax up. So, and you have to do that within 18 hours. So, no, sorry, is it 18 hours? Yeah, I think
A
it's like
short
18
period of
hours
time.
exam.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's over 2 days. And then when you pass that, then you continue to third year, which is basically we do it on models and plastic teeth, still not patients. And when you know that and you pass those exams, you start fourth year, which is when you start seeing patients. Now, I've just done fourth year, and doing my first patient, I was very scared because my professor literally, she said, right, I did the checkup, anamnesis, everything. I said, yeah, they've got a caries on 1/6. She's like, right, start, do it. And I was just like, what? Like, I need some kind of guidance because knowing the
It's one
theory,
thing.
putting it into practice,
Yeah.
it's very scary. But she was there with me, like when I called her. But then after like even starting the initial prep stage, she was like, continue, do it yourself. And then like I asked her to come every set, and the way they teach there is amazing. But it's more like you have to be ready for that. You can't just not know your stuff and go into clinics expecting your teachers to help you. If you don't know the theory, they will not help you.
Yeah.
And not in they want you to know your stuff so then they can go on to the stage where, right, let's put that theory into practice.
I think that's similar with our dental school. Certainly Newcastle was very much like that. I remember there were times where people would come on and expect that,
Yeah.
well, one of the tutors would basically make all the decisions for them. And then especially I think the girls thought that one or two of the girls, because I'm not going to, put everyone in the same boat and kind of overly generalize, but some of them thought they could get away with it by, doing the old eyelashes thing and stuff like that. And some of the guys thought they could blag it, and get away with it.
Yeah.
And they'd walk away in tears, some of the girls, and the guys would just get a proper rollicking, get really, really told off for not coming on the clinic and understanding exactly what's supposed to go on. They said, look, we're here to help you if you get into trouble, not to make all the decisions for you, because, as soon as you're out the door, you have to make decisions every day of the rest of your life.
Exactly. And doctor, like the biggest difference I'd say from Bulgaria to British dental is we have to search for our own patients. Now that's not just any patients. For example, in conservative, I've done enough fillings to pass the semester, but my teacher was like, before COVID, obviously the lockdown, he said you need to do enough. So I was like, okay, now I have to specifically look for a patient who specifically needs a root canal. And you know what I mean? And now this is going out in the streets of Bulgaria, speaking to the locals, speaking to students, all Bulgarian people, because usually students who are British, their teeth are fine. So you want to obviously get somebody who needs treatment. And that can be difficult at times. But, with practice, I feel like, because obviously the language barrier as well, it can get easier. But again, it can still be challenging at times. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that's maybe a good thing for you guys because if you're going into private practice, that's exactly what you've got to do. Although you're probably not going to be walking around the streets just like gripping random people. Go like, do you want some treatment?
Yeah, exactly. But I even said this to my friends over there because as a group, there's 7 of us that we're all in groups at university, and with that group, you're with them all day, every day, and you're doing it together. So we basically plan on weekends to go patient hunting together and look for patients, and then we get like a cohort of people. And now, let's say we find 20 people, we've got 20 people's numbers, 2 people will come. Honestly, 2 people will come because everyone else will either not reply or, to be honest, with COVID, they're all scared as well. Even though we're equipped with PPE, we've got our masks on, you can wear a visor and whatnot. People are still scared because of the pandemic, and you have to be. The last thing you want is come into a clinical practice and your patient not turn up because then you just stood there. You know what I mean? You want to be doing something on the day because that's the day where your professor's next to you and you're going to be learning your stuff that you're going to be putting into practice.
Yeah, I think that's probably the worst thing when patients don't turn up, and it's probably same as what we had. I think it sounds very similar, but just like it's set up in a different way. If your patient didn't turn up, and you could maybe get two patients, if you're lucky, you get 3 patients in a session. If one doesn't turn up, that's an hour and a half, 2 hours gone, and you're just faffing around, or you have to nurse, which is the worst thing in the world. Like there's nothing I hated more than helping other people.
I mean,
it's not what you're there for. It's helping other people is good, guys, but it's not what you go to dental school for. To help other people get their degree and not you get yours.
Yeah. You gotta do.
I just
But
sound like a
even then,
prick,
like when I was That's all right. But other than that, it is amazing. The thing is, with our university, I feel like the first 3 years, with how strict they are, they've kind of prepared you for this.
Mm,
So it's not really to me. I'm used to doing things like for myself and as in with our friends for ourselves, not the teacher spoon feeding us. Do you
yeah.
get me? Because in the 3 years, they're so strict with even attendance. Like there were lectures in prosthetics. If you were literally 1 minute late, they will shut the door and you will lose that absence. And if you have 2 absences in that semester, you're not going to get a signature. And now you need all your signatures to sit in the exam. You can't sit the exams, you can't pass the year. So there's a lot of pressure at university in terms of like absences and stuff like that as well, or even being late. So punctuality is a very big thing. So I feel like they discipline us very well. I mean, I studied at Bradford Uni for 2 years before I even came to Bulgaria, and I can compare a lot. Like they weren't as strict there. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It was a pre-medical, and there were still aspects where we had to turn up early, but it wasn't as bad as.
Yeah, I think British people in general are very undisciplined, and I don't feel like at all like bad in saying that as a generalization. I think that's what you see from our lectures. It was easy to just skive off and get away with it. It was easy to do whatever, and there were people. Again, I don't know. I'm not going to name any names. Who would come in, after a night out and smelling of whatever that they'd been doing the day before, which
Yeah,
is completely unprofessional. I think it's something. It sounds like it's a good thing that you guys have such a strict system in place that you wouldn't get away with really unprofessional
I
behavior.
think yeah, I think it's and the main thing is the 7:30 start. So their day start at 7:30. So like when I first moved there, I thought, how am I gonna do this? Like wake up at literally get to uni at 7:30 in the morning. Being here for being in my 4th year now, that time's flown. I've adjusted to their way of doing
Yeah,
things. And it's not hard to adjust to that. You just have to respect their policies. That's it.
yeah, and at the end of the day, it's kind of respecting yourself as well because it's your education at the end of the day, isn't it? So if
That,
you're messing around, you're only shortchanging yourself. So
that,
that's great. And getting up early, I mean, I'm absolutely not getting up early at the moment, but you do definitely feel better about yourself. This because I'm speaking to these Americans till bloody like 2 a.m. and stuff like that. It's their fault. It's not me. But yeah, you do get more done in those early hours of the day. So it's really good that they're kind of setting you up with some good habits.
yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
What was Bradford Uni like? Let's go off on a tangent because I went to school in Bradford and spend most of my life in Bradford.
Oh, mad. I loved it. I loved it. I mean, I'm from Great. I'm only like 40 minutes train ride from Bradford. So commuting there was fine. To be honest, you're supposed to enjoy uni, and I did enjoy uni, but I felt a lot of pressure because the reason I did clinical sciences. So before dentistry, my heart was set on
Mm,
medicine, and I missed my grades by 1 mark in chemistry at A level. So I thought, okay, what can I do? And abroad didn't even cross my mind. I thought, let me try this access course. So with this access course, if you get 60% your first year, you can apply for Leeds
yeah, my
University
friend, one of my
medicals.
friends was trying to do that, and it doesn't really work out
Yeah,
from what I remember.
it doesn't. I'm not gonna lie, learning wise, I loved it. Like it built my love for medicine even more. Like the teachers were fantastic, my professors were good, everything was really good there. I made some really good friends that I'm still in touch with
Yeah,
today. I think some of them are watching today as well to support. And
shout out Bradford crew.
the thing is, shout out. But
You have to.
the exams were tough because it was very competitive. Only 20 spaces were available for the
Yeah,
transfer out of a couple of 100 people. So I mean, I got my grades, but I didn't get an interview. So I remember the day I found out, I was like, I'm back to square one. I don't know what to do. And dentistry was always something I wouldn't mind doing, but I never really looked into it. So I thought, let me see what's abroad. And now that I had an option to do dentistry, sorry, I thought, let me look into it. And a lot of my friends know me. Like when I started dental school, there I knew nothing about dentistry. Like I've got hypodontia, I'm missing my laterals, and I didn't even know that until I even started
yeah,
university. They were like, how did you not know? So it was good. Bradford Uni was good. The food was good. Bradford. Leeds Road, all that.
yeah. I actually don't like a lot of the Asian places. I like my friends opened something called Bite Burger, which is down by
Oh,
Cineworld. So it's my friend's place.
oh, okay.
Really good. And then there's a place called Kona, which I love going to as well. Not very often because it's really, really expensive and stuff, but it's just like a really, really nice food. Other than that, it's like, have you heard of HFC?
Yeah, I
Oh,
have.
that's the place. That's like if you need a quick munch, you're heading HFC.
Is this a quick time thing before between lectures? But yeah, loved it. Bradford was a good experience for me. I feel like it prepared me in a way to study abroad, mature me in a way, and to handle
Why?
being
Because
away
it's
from home.
Bradistan. It's kind of like abroad.
That no, honestly, there are a lot of ethnic groups in my university in
Yeah.
Bulgaria as well. But like, it's just the fact that I think I needed to stand on my own 2 feet, and Bradford taught me that because I was pretty much. I mean, you'll know this from college to university. There's a big jump, isn't there? They don't spoon feed you as much in university. You're doing a lot of things yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends which you're at, but that was what it was like at Bradford. I had to do a lot of things myself because it was all about getting into Leeds University at the time.
Mm.
So there was a lot of pressure and stress, but I enjoyed it at the same time.
Yeah. I think that's kind of that period in everyone's life where it's always a little bit uncertain if you're trying to get into your course, even if you're at A level. It's like, am I going to get an offer? Am I going to have to do whatever different degree and then try and do whatever you want to do? So yeah, it's a difficult time for everyone, I think. So I think most people will kind of resonate with that. 31 of you guys.
Yeah,
Let's have a few more likes on the video, a few more shares. Thank you. And then what's it like actually culturally moving from the UK to somewhere like Bulgaria? Do people speak English? Is there food issues? Because obviously we want to eat halal food and stuff. I mean, I'm sure that because there's so many guys going over from the UK to Bulgaria, there's maybe some sort of a culture kind of being grown up around it. Is that the case, or
yeah.
what's going on?
I mean, I'm going to be completely honest. When I moved there, because things were very different. Um, I moved there in September 2017, so that was about 3 years ago, and a lot of things were different in terms of like the people that mainly do speak English, but that's the younger generation. But generally, everybody speaks Bulgarian. So if you do speak
Mm.
English, some people, oh, we don't speak English, go somewhere else. But majority of the people are welcoming. It just depends who you see. I feel like, but the elderly people do not speak a word of English, so that was something to be a bit thrown off by. But you get used to it. But the good thing is, in university, everybody speaks English. All your professors speak English. It's literally like being in England in university because everyone around you speaking that language. But in our first 2 years, we had to do 8 hours of Bulgarian classes every week. So they did prepare us to, at least be settled in a different country with that language so you can kind of understand some words, if you know what I mean. But like other things, I feel like what happened was in 2019, Plovdiv won Capital of Culture.
Yeah, I was going to bring
So
that up.
yeah, and that was amazing because they had so many events and so many people from America were visiting and from other countries around the world, and it was just really nice seeing people that speak English as well. More people be there basically, and ever since then, more students have been joining the university and been admitted, and now restaurants have been opening that cater to like halal food. Every year we're literally seeing more restaurants open and food places and cafes, and they're redoing the roads and everything just looks brand new. Especially our university, like the dental faculty is beautiful. I mean, even when I joined, it was still it was a new building,
Yeah.
and all the facilities are great. And it just made me like when I visited the university for the first time, it made me say yes because I was really happy with how
How it's set up.
modern. Yeah, and like we saw like the clinical rooms and everything looked approachable. You know what I mean? Something like, oh, I want to learn here, kind of thing. Because I did look at other universities around Bulgaria, and some pictures might have put me off. But that's what you've got to do before you go in abroad. You've got to kind of
Yeah, you
see
got
where
to do
you.
your research before you do anything really, and you're going to spend 6 years somewhere, then you've
Yeah,
got to make sure that it's the right place. So I think that makes sense. Would you do it again?
yeah, definitely. I mean, okay, I'm gonna be honest. The first few months I found hard, but that's because I was adjusting to being away from home, a new life, living on my own. I hadn't made many friends then, but now I have like a solid group of friends who are literally like family to me. And being at university with them every day, and even people who are not in my group in university, like your friendship circles increases. You know more people.
Mm,
People help you out, and like it's just a big student community. And when you're out and about, you're kind of always with the people that you're seeing. So you're kind of creating family there, if that makes sense, which makes it much easier. Like we had Eid and Ramadan there, not this year because of COVID,
yeah,
but before,
previously,
and
yeah.
it's fantastic because we were opening our fast together and holding in other people's apartments. Everyone would do like a food gathering, and it's just something I never thought I'd do. at this age. Usually you
You
think
are
you
an
do that when
adult,
you
by the way. It's the thing. It doesn't feel like it, but you are.
Would you feel like it? Yeah, exactly. Because you think, oh, my parents do this because we've got a house and people visit our house, whatnot. I'm just living in the house, but now I'm hosting my own get-togethers kind of
Yeah.
thing. So it's nice. It's nice, and the good thing as well is there's a big the student community is very good online as well. So on Facebook we have groups, and anything you're selling or anything you want to buy from other students or anything if you're lost or if you need any help, for example, creating an ID card for Bulgaria, you can post it on the group and someone will reply and guide you. So, there's a lot of help available, especially for new students that are joining.
Yeah, I think it sounds pretty similar to most universities, and in that way, because I think most universities have got something along those lines, but it's whether you get involved with that kind of thing or not. Because some people will just go off the radar, but if
Yeah,
it's
that,
that kind of thing is always there, and if you look for it.
I mean, if I was on my own, I would struggle a lot.
Mm,
But it's because I have a good set of people around me that you kind of keeps you sane and deal with things, and it's enjoyable. Like I look forward to going back every time. And then there are times where I do miss home, so I come back. For example, I came back for 2 weeks. With lockdown, not a lot of students did
yeah,
leave, but I did because I just wanted to see family and stuff. But another big thing is I say you need to know how to call taxis because like they do not speak a word of English.
right.
So that's the first thing I did. I learned in Bulgarian how to call a taxi and how to communicate with them just so you know where to go because you need to travel and you need to get to places. So things like this, students might find hard at first, but you adjust to really quickly.
Yeah, the little things that you maybe wouldn't think of that are important for living somewhere or anywhere. You just gotta kind of get into the groove of it, and then get on from there. So probably like, how long did that kind of period of adaptation take you?
I think the first semester,
Full
so
semester.
September, December, and then January we had exams in 2017. Sorry, so January 2018 was my first set of exams, and I still remember that I didn't pass anything because I feel like I was still trying to mentally be prepared for even just going to university. It was such a new place, but now I love it, and it's the best. It's the best decision I've made to come
Yeah.
abroad. It sounds cheesy, but like I'm being honest with you. Like this is something I know I'm gonna miss when I do. Like what COVID taught me that being away from university for 6 months last semester in lockdown, it made me think that when I actually do leave this place, I'm gonna miss it.
Yeah, yeah, no, I kind of get that because I think the thing is though, if you go back and the people that you were there with are not there anymore, it's got that weird feeling of like there used to be something here, but it's not there anymore. Because I felt that when I go
Yeah.
back to my university town, because like all your mates that you normally see around town, it used to be at one point where you would go walking from your house to the shop, and you'd stop 3 times to have a chat in the middle of the street with someone.
Well, I'm literally
Mm,
going to swimming. For example, my gym's close by near the university, and I see like a good 5 people before I even go because it's just a community. It's literally a
yeah,
community around university. Yeah.
yeah. So I think that's kind of what I really noticed when I went back is like I walked from here to there and I saw like people I recognize but I don't really know, and then that was it. It's not like none of your close friends are there anymore. So yeah, I think definitely make the most of it while you still got that going. Lots of you guys bigging you up in the comments, by the way. Literally loads of
Like,
you guys. So thank you all for joining us. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, all the rest of it. Um, yeah. What do you think out of the things that you've learned so far? I know you're quite early in the clinical side of things. What do you think your favorite sort of treatments are? I mean, it's very early, so it's difficult to say.
okay, so I've not done a root canal yet, and my professor did say I'm ready for one.
Mm,
So I'm thinking, let's see how that goes. But and I know you love your root canals because you love endo, but definitely fillings. Like I love doing fillings, like the conservative dentistry type. Because with me, I really love cosmetic dentistry. Like it's always been something I like. Just making someone be happy with how they feel and how it looks. So what it is for example, I had a Turkish friend who I met 2 years ago at the mosque in Bulgaria. He's Bulgarian, and I met all his family, and they were really nice, and we kept in touch. And I asked him, I said, "Do you need any treatment?" So he said, "I'll come in." He came in, and it figured out he needed about 7 fillings. So I was
do you know what it
doing
is?
them
It's
one by
them
one.
Turkish teas. So much sugar.
Like I was like, what? I was like, how do you like his smile looks so good from the
Yeah,
front, but when you look in on the surfaces, you're like, wow, like you've got a lot going on. So when I was doing the treatment, I took my time with that, and it's because like he because I took a before picture and I was showing him and I was explaining to him what I'm doing.
mm,
Then after that, and he was really like, oh my god, like you can't tell it's there, it's gone, and that's the beauty of it because I try my best to find the best shade composite,
yeah,
to it and literally look natural. And the fact that his reaction was so positive and he was so happy with it, it made me feel really good inside. And I thought, this is finally how it feels to actually do treatment as a
It's what you're
dentist.
after,
And
isn't it? It's really what you're after.
I'm a student, and this is how it feels. And I finally got that feeling after 4 years. You know what I mean? After doing this university, so that's definitely my favorite part so far. The clinics, definitely.
Yeah, no, I get that. I think the restorative stuff is really fun. But wait till you do root canals. Obviously, it's something different. You either love it or you hate it. I think it's very similar to dentures. So there's guys who probably love them,
Oh,
and then there's guys who just like me who absolutely just
that,
cannot deal.
I had to do that exam. That exam was tough. Like we had to make a denture literally from scratch, and but I feel like doing it so many times kind of helped me learn. That's the thing with dentistry; it's all
Mm.
practice. Like you can learn all the theory in the world, but if you don't know what you're doing with your hands, you're gonna be stuck.
Yeah, no, that's I would tend to agree. It's very much a physical labor almost, as well as
Yeah,
mentally very challenging. Uh, in the initial stages anyway. Once you learn it, then it's like second nature. But that first hurdle is like understanding what, and then trying to translate that information in your head into you doing some treatment. That's kind of the hardest part. Because you're like, yeah, I know where an MB2 is, but I can't
yeah,
get to it. And I
exactly.
can't find it. Everyone knows where it is. Literally everyone,
Yeah,
but no one can get to it,
yeah.
or some people can't get to it.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm nervous about. But you know what? Like my professor's first saying, or like, the first case I had, it was okay, but it didn't look as great because the shade was off, and it just didn't look that good, in my opinion. I wasn't happy with it. She said you need to be more confident in yourself. So I thought, okay, let me take that on board because she obviously said that for a reason. And then the next time I did it, it looked perfect. So it's all about trusting yourself and realizing you will make mistakes, but that's the only way you learn, I guess. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like even at university, I'm learning. I'm still scared to make mistakes because I'm with somebody who's trusting me to treat them. Because I found this patient. The university didn't give it me. I had to go out there and convince this patient to come see me. And I did let them know I'm a student and the professor's going to watch. But at the end of the day, I'm doing their treatment, so
Yeah, you're
I
the
don't
one
want
that
them.
can mess it up if you want to think about it like that way. Uh,
Yeah,
but you never, I never really worry about messing something up when I'm doing anything. I don't know if that's just me or because you understand what's going on. If you look at an X-ray and go, well, this is pretty close to the pulp, you're gonna, yeah, this looks like a difficult filling. Let's see what happens. So you kind of like, okay, I've told him now. I'll do what I want now and just see where it goes.
no. But speaking of X-rays, like how I said they teach a lot of medical
Mm.
stuff. Like even with the radiology subject, 80% of the syllabus is literally chest radiographs, renal radiography, and I'm thinking, why do we need to know this when like the actual dental radiographs that we're doing, like the panoramic one, it's like that's only right at the end of the specification, and they're teaching that right at the end. So it's like we still have to, whilst I'm doing the clinic stuff, for example, the things and stuff, I'm still trying to keep on top of the medical side of things. So I mean, even in my fourth year, I'm not saying it's easy. Like I am finding it difficult. There are times that I find it very difficult, but you do get away with it. Like not away with it, get around it once you know how to prioritize your
Yeah,
work.
yeah, I think that's key, isn't it? Really. Um,
And that's something I didn't know before applying. I literally didn't know that I was going to be doing so much medicine with dentistry.
yeah, I think that would probably put me off because in my head it's information that yeah, it's useful to know drugs, interactions, and some systemic disease, anything that might affect the dentistry, but not in such a huge amount of detail that it seems like you guys go into. Because at the end of the day, if I see something, I'm just like I've got the referral button ready to go. I'm going, okay, someone else can see that. All right.
No, realistically, we do though, in the working.
Yeah, important stuff to know though. Another really nice comment for you from Anila Hussein. You're such a wholesome human being. I feel like you're going to help a lot of people. I can't explain how amazing that is. I think that's in regards to your treatment that you're talking about.
Uh, I'm hoping I do.
Um, yeah. So, what's it like socially in Bulgaria? Is there the same thing that we get in the UK? Obviously, where brown people are very prevalent in UK society now, but that wasn't always the case, and there has been friction in times, and there is a stigma with Eastern Europe and racism, and well, certainly with African people. Um,
Yeah,
do you guys see
I
that?
mean,
Do you guys experience it?
personally, I've not experienced anything. The only thing I've experienced is if I don't speak Bulgarian, then they kind of just like push
Mm,
you off. in a very
Give
brief
you
way.
that face.
But that doesn't
Like, yeah.
yeah, give me that face. It's like go away, and I'm thinking, give me a chance. But that happens. You get used to it. But in terms of actual racism, I have seen like I have some friends who have experienced it. Just like finger pointing and name calling, just on base of the color of the skin. But these are from this. Basically, I spoke to my orthodontics professor the other week about this, and he's basically Bulgarian. He graduated in
Yeah.
Sofia, and then he's now working in Dublin as a private orthodontist. So he knows the difference, and he said, the people that do this are usually the kind of people that don't really leave Bulgaria, so they don't really want anyone coming in. Now, that's not the majority of the mentality there. It's just the odd people you get. But the thing is, you hardly experience it only because you're always around people of your own. So you're always around
Yeah, so you
students,
never
you're
really
always
see the
around.
general population with them.
Yeah, and if you are like, I have friends who have experienced racism sadly, but like they've just avoided that in the future by hanging around, not walking on their own, basically, kind of thing. Just so they don't get pointed fingers out and stuff like that. But it's not happened to me personally, but I've just heard it from other students, unfortunately, which is sad. But they're still there today and they're loving it. They're having a really good time. They've just realized how to avoid situations like that in a country like
Yeah,
that.
well, I mean, you say a country like that, but I mean, is Britain really much that different? Because um, I don't know if you saw the chat that I had with someone, I can't remember who it was, where people were crossing over the street because I was working in Selby. Do you know, like East Yorkshire? So it's not like miles away from Leeds.
Yeah.
It's half an hour drive from Leeds. There was stuff going on there. People, crossing over the street to walk on the other side because there's a brown guy on one side, and then crossing back over, like, and you see them cross back over as well. So it's not like they were going somewhere. So is it really that different? I don't know.
Mm. That's true. But then I feel like in a country like Bulgaria, I just feel like there's not many opportunities for people to actually leave the country. So they don't really experience other ethnicity in terms of being with them. I mean, that's what I was told by my teachers who obviously have traveled around the world and they still
Mm.
work in Bulgaria in the first year. So they kind of say, don't mind if somebody just look at you twice kind of thing. But like in terms of name calling, it hardly happens. But I mean, if it does happen, I can't really speak on that obviously because I've not experienced it myself, but I've just heard of certain things happening from other
Yeah, I think
students.
I think students are maybe insulated from that kind of thing, aren't they?
Yeah, but it honestly, like being there in my 40 now, I can say it is a safe place to be. Like it is a safe country. There are people always out and about, enjoying themselves. Even late at night, you can walk to the park and there's people walking their dogs at night. It's a and you're always with your friends and stuff. And like even if I have to, sometimes I walk back from swimming late at night, 10 p.m. It's completely safe because the everything's always awake at night. So there's always people about, and you're not really walking alone, kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, just common sense kind of things to do, isn't it? Really.
Literally, you do here. Like, let's say if you're walking at midnight here, you'd think twice about where you're walking, which route you're taking. Generally, things like that. You just do the same thing there.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it maybe makes more of a difference for girls working on their own and stuff like that. A lad's probably more likely to be safe unless you're getting mugged, but girls have other things to
And
be worried about.
no, but there's literally a police station right next to our university as well, and
Oh,
they
that's
speak
handy, isn't it?
exactly. So it seems
Yeah.
alright. So
No, same as anywhere in the world then, really.
I'd say
Yeah.
that. Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Like I said, there could be people like that anywhere in the world.
Yeah, I mean, there's good and bad people everywhere, and I think that's what
Yeah.
certainly Dentist of Insta and doing the podcast and traveling has kind of shown you. Like, there's nice people everywhere, and there's like less nice people in the same quantities in all societies. So yeah, it's good to hear that it's not something that really affects you that hugely.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Um, what's what's kind of the setup of the coming back to the UK like? Because I know Brexit may change things. Has that been
Yeah.
discussed at all?
Luckily, I discussed this with my orthodontist teacher, the one who's working in Dublin. He's gone back now to Dublin, in Bulgaria. I discussed it
You
with him last
speak up
week.
a bit. I think you're a bit far away from the mic.
Yeah, I spoke. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you just need to get a bit closer to the mic.
Yeah. So I spoke with my orthodontist professor, who's working in Dublin about this, and he did say like, so with the graduation, I think you saw my story for the
Yeah.
students was last month. and they've now gone back and they're all working. Most of them are working, and some of them are still looking for jobs. So that's without taking an entrance exam. But in terms of Brexit, the most we'll have to do is we do our state exams. I think in April, May in sixth year, the final exams, which qualifies as dentist in Bulgaria. So then, if Brexit does happen, then what we have to do is, let's say a month later, we just got to sit similar style exams to just convert these qualifications into ones that the GDC will accept, basically.
Right. So is that ORE, or is it going to be something different?
I don't know. I asked him if it was that, and he said we don't know if it's going to be that. There could be something new introduced.
Right. So it's kind of, well, to be honest, no one really knows about how this Brexit stuff's gonna land. But you
Yeah,
might be affected. We don't know yet.
yeah, and even if we are affected, at the end of the day, like where we, it will be at a time where we've just sat our state exam, so we should be ready theoretically,
Mm.
anyways. So it'd just be extra revision to do to prepare for an exam like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah,
Makes sense. I think it's something that people are gonna ask. So at the moment, we don't know. Which
yeah, exactly. And a lot of people do ask me like, why Bulgaria, or like why abroad kind of thing, and in all honesty, things did drive me to go abroad. For example, not getting placed in Leeds. If I did get placed in Leeds, I would have come here.
yeah.
But then, I also feel like other aspects. For example, there are a lot of positives into coming abroad. For example, they have private accommodation. So I have a whole apartment to myself, which I'm paying to a landlord privately, and you have your own little kind of lifestyle there. You can pay for your own things. You pay for your own bills. You can get your own internet sorted out. So it's literally like living. It's literally like getting a place here, but over there. But it's like insanely cheaper. And the uni fees it's €8,000 a year. So it is
Again,
one
slightly
grand.
cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you're paying for your flights. You're paying for living there. Your costs. So I feel like it works out the same.
Yeah. Cool.
And there's no loans there and things like that as well. So there are things that are similar to the UK. There are things that are not similar to the UK.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It sounds like on financial side, maybe living costs are lower, but then you've got, like you say, um, travel costs, which are maybe significantly. Well, actually, if you try to take a train from anywhere to anywhere in the UK, it's like £100 no matter where you're going. So
Yeah, exactly. And like, the good thing is you're literally living amongst students. There's literally those apartment complexes. They're building so many more new apartment complexes. Like, I'm literally for the last 4 years, 3 years, sorry, I've witnessed this town grow, this city, this country grow. They're literally paving all the roads, putting new building, beautiful buildings up, things like this. So I'm seeing all these new blocks, literally built. Come back next year, it's full of students. So like new students. So you literally live with your
yeah,
friends. I mean, I have some Bulgarian neighbours, but then I also have students that live in my block as well. So, it's a bit of both. It's quite
I
good.
think a lot of these Eastern European dental schools are maybe expanding because of things like the cost of doing dental school in the States is just ridiculous. So I
I heard,
think have you seen much of that? Because I know there's a couple of girls who've gone to Poland to do dentistry, and then they're going to go back maybe going to go back afterwards.
yeah, there is somebody I'm speaking to. She's gonna do that, but then she also might work in the UK. People are just looking at what opportunities there are, but I feel like what drives people to do that is basically where they're from. So if they did,
Mm,
obviously your family, your lifestyle there, so you probably try your best to go back there. But then a lot of students, even the medics, some medics I know, they're now sitting in the USMLE. So from graduating in Bulgaria as a doctor, they now want to work in the USA. So it works both ways. You can kind of, as I feel like having the, the qualification from Bulgaria, luckily with the uni we have, it can translate into any country.
yeah,
As long as
yeah,
you, let's say if I start working in the UK, then from then on I can see where else I want to go.
yeah.
But I was gonna like, is that a big question when applying for jobs or when you're working? Like, oh, where did you graduate?
I would say not. Um, I would say the main things are your experience levels, like how many years have you been working? Because all dental schools are pretty poor at giving you experience. So I think everyone starts from zero coming out of dental school, and then it's like how much further education have you done outside? Can you show cases, that kind of thing?
Yeah, okay. And I forgot to mention, you said the traveling thing is cheaper. It is because you might have seen on my story. I went to Istanbul a couple of weeks ago, and that was literally on the coach from Plovdiv, from where I live in Bulgaria with my friends, and it was a night coach, so it took about 7 hours. But we got to Istanbul and stayed there for a couple of nights and got back quickly as well, and it was all like so cheap as well. So another advantage I'd say about studying in a country like I am in Eastern Europe, the traveling opportunities.
Mm.
Like you can be there, and your friends could be like, "Oh, we have a 3-day weekend. Let's do something." So then you can easily just travel to even Greece, countries, neighboring countries.
Yeah, nicer than in the UK.
Yeah, I feel like from the UK, the only opportunity I've had, like I've traveled a lot, but like it's always been the summer holidays
You
kind of
need a
thing with
longer
your
you
family.
need a longer gap to do something, don't you, really?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it makes sense. Um, what do you think your plans are when you come back to the UK? What have you got any ideas about where you're going to land, um, and all that? How do you envisage the kind of your life, your practice afterwards?
That's a hard one. I mean, obviously, I have aspirations and dreams, but then I also have to be realistic about things. So, first thing I want to do is definitely practice in the UK. That's one of my biggest goals. Whether I want to work under NHS or private, I have no idea. But I feel like the majority of people do work for the NHS first. So I feel like that will have to be something I need to do because I feel like I need a mentor my first year. You know how you can get a mentor and they're with you for the first year and they kind of help train you. But I don't know if it's needed. I need to look more into that. But then I feel like the more I work hard at uni and the more like complex patient I get for myself, the more prepared I will be for that when I graduate. So maybe I might not need that. But then I feel like adjusting to the British way of doing things compared to Bulgaria might be something that'll take me time.
Yeah,
Uh,
notes and systems and things like that.
Yeah. But general dentistry is something I've always liked. I mean, I feel like I don't want to specialize into anything. Not at the moment. Maybe that'll change when I'm in 50 or 60 year, but right now I like doing a bit of everything. And I feel
Yeah.
like I can picture myself saying, "Oh, let me do a filling now. I can do an endo another time." But then like I said, cosmetic dentistry is something I've really been obsessed with. Before, like when I went to do medicine, it was also cosmetics. It wasn't dentistry, but it was more like rhinoplasty and things like that. Like I've always liked watching people wanting to look better and having better confidence. So dentistry gave me that way of doing it. But like for example, I can without specializing do Invisalign, and I think you can Invisalign the course.
Yeah, there's basically aesthetic medicine is what you're kind of pointing towards there, isn't it, really?
Yeah, but then you see, I don't know when I can officially call myself that because I feel like that takes years. You see all the aesthetic dentists, cosmetic dentists on there with Instagrams, and they were, but obviously it took them so many years to get to that stage. So I feel like after graduating, stay as a general dentist and see how much experience I can get and how well I can do my work to then offer different things. I guess.
Yeah, I think they just do it as soon as they've done Invisalign and a bonding course, to be honest.
No, but you said on the other podcast you were like the bonding course you pay so much money for, but then you feel like that you didn't learn anything.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
I'm
like,
I'm not interested in that. And oh, no, it was a composite day, but that's just my experience, isn't it? Because I've got a very clear and radical different idea to what I want to be doing as opposed to a lot of other people. My point there was like, don't waste your money on stuff that you're not interested in.
oh, okay.
Yeah, because there's so many courses you can go on. There's literally endless numbers of courses you can go on. So don't waste the money.
Just find the right. Yeah, of course. The thing is, I'm so indecisive in terms of like what I actually want to do. I feel like when I start doing something, I want to try something new. So like I feel like I've seen so many profiles on from your dentist of Insta of people who have just like they've been working for like 10 years and now they've just started doing specialty. So I feel like as you're working, you just change your mind and be like, oh, actually, I'm interested in this. So I might be like, oh, I actually want to do an orthodontic thing, but we'll see where life takes me. But for now, I feel like the first thing I really want to do is just come back to the UK and continue doing what I'm doing here, which I'm so happy about. Like I was really happy with the clinical experience I've been getting there and how it's done, and the fact that I have my own patient and I can do my own work and show
Mm.
my professor and my work, and I've done this to make this patient happy. So that's the kind of job that I want to be doing when I'm in the UK. So I feel like this is already giving me the feeling of how it'll feel. So if I can come back and do the same thing, then I'm more than happy.
Yeah, that's a general dentistry. That's kind of where you're at. You get to deal with whatever the problems that come in your way, and you follow those patients through whatever they need and try and deal with it.
Definitely. And in terms of courses, like a lot of people have asked me because I don't even know the full answer to this, but like, is it something you do straight after uni, or is it more like you have to do a specialization then do the course? Was it?
It's completely like down to yourself. there'll be, if you're interested in something, basically you'll say, oh, I feel like I need to get better at X, and you just go off and find yourself a course that, you know, is a decent course that people rate. Say, oh yeah, they teach you about Invisalign and bonding, and then you go and learn about it, and then you put that new information and new techniques or whatever you learned there into action. And then after a while you might think, oh well, actually my perio needs a bit of work, I could maybe do with a refresher in this area, and you go and do that. So that's kind of how it works. Or you can do formalized MSc, MClin Endo, MClin Dent, MClin whatever, you know, become more specialist in something. So there's kind of
And
like
that's
add-ons, and then there's specializing.
specializing, which obviously takes years.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Um, Outside of dentistry, then, what are the things that are really kind of piquing your interest? I know you say you swim quite a lot. Um, you how
The
do you
best.
keep kind of grounded and like hit healthy and fit and stuff?
Um, okay, so I remember when I came to Bulgaria, I was with my mom and my sister, and I said, we need to find a swimming pool. I'm not going to survive here without a swimming pool. So we looked everywhere, and luckily I found a place literally really nice one, gym with a swimming pool. So like, it's just like you can just talk about. Sorry, you can just after a long day at university, you've got your time the rest of the day to do what you want to do, whatever you want. So that's the way of my way of stress relief.
Yeah,
Relaxing and doing what I want to do. I also like to cook. That's something I like to do. So I've learned a lot about cooking whilst living abroad. So if I'm stressed again, I'd say I literally just whack out ingredients and just start cooking for like good 2 hours. Put some music on in the background, and it's just something that keeps me going. I feel like.
yeah.
But yeah,
Otherwise, you won't be able to eat. So you'll be having
yeah,
takeaways, which is not great.
exactly. Yeah, I bought a lot. We bring a lot of home cooked food as well. So like food that my mom's made, you just freeze it. You can take it with you on the plane and then freeze it over there. So that's if you're lazy. Like, sometimes I don't want to cook, but
Yeah, we used to do that. I used to have I had an extra freezer to do that sort of stuff.
yeah, exactly. But the thing is, as well, in Bulgaria, we have a lot of cool stuff. Like they've got loads of malls, cinemas, where they thankfully play the movies in English. So you can literally do whatever you want: go karting, laser tag, um, bowling. So there's lots of things to do, lots of cafes to visit. Just meet with friends and just go out, have dinner, have food, have desserts. Things like that as well. Just to like keep your mind off uni and do other things that you want to do. Keep a social life there.
Yeah,
And like communities there in terms of like what's the word? The communities that formed in university. Uh,
like oh right,
society,
societies. Yeah,
yeah, societies. So you've got a lot of them as well. So there's a lot of opportunities to do things, and especially if you want to get away from the uni life and dentistry. You know what I mean? Like you want to do something that's a bit different. Then yeah. But I see you do a lot of gym as well. I've been seeing those videos, mate.
uh, I'll show you later. I'm just as fat as I was when I started. It's really saddening. Uh,
God, COVID, COVID has really messed me up like that. Like I've just stayed at home and eat, and that's it. Like I've not been doing. When I come back to the UK, my workouts it goes down. But when I'm in Bulgaria, you're walking around a lot as well, so I feel like I'm more active there. Whereas here, I'm just driving around. It's just easy.
yeah, it's the cold as well. There's a
Yeah,
different kind of cold, and like there's like a feeling in the air in the UK when it gets past like November the 1st to March. You just don't want to be outside. You don't want to be doing anything.
you don't
So
want
yeah, it's like
to. In Bulgaria, it gets very cold, but then our summers are really hot. That's what I love about it. So it can be October and the sun's still shining and it's still boiling. So like you're
are the
very,
days longer there
very
though?
lucky to. Yeah, but then when the clocks move back, it's just like here
Okay.
forward. Sorry, forward. But yeah, the days in summer are way longer.
Yeah, no, it's just one of those things. I think I always thought that, as soon as you get to basically this time of year, you don't want to do anything anymore. It's just like it's dark when you get up. When you get out of uni, it's dark, or when you get out of work, it's dark.
Even now, I'm like that, and I'm supposed to be studying as well. And even studying sometimes feels a bit of a chore. Do you know what I mean? When you have that feeling where you don't even want to look at anything,
Yeah,
and you'd rather just lie there, watch TV or something.
that's when you've got to
And
get out and go
days,
to the gym.
yeah, honestly. But you know what, man? The COVID thing, the lockdowns closed gyms here, and I'm not.
Uh,
I'm not.
oh, here.
I mean, yeah, here. I don't. Bulgaria's fine right now for now, but here they've closed it, and I wanted while I was here to like stay active and go swimming, hit the gym, but obviously I can't do that
You have to go for runs or something, which is like my most
now.
hated exercise is running on it. running on my own.
So even doing a run, it's just like, do I want to do it? It takes a lot of effort just to even leave my house.
I don't know what it is about
So,
running, but it's the most boring thing you can possibly do, and it's really bad for your joints.
no, this is the thing. Yeah, like I mean, I used to be like, I used to be really overweight in 2016 when I was at Bradford Uni actually,
Why,
and
why I'm not surprised
but
Bradford caused some overweightness.
and you know the food there, right? So then it's like, I used to be like, oh, let me hit the gym, let me try, do the treadmill, cardio. I found it so boring. Like, I hated it. So swimming was the one thing I enjoyed because I feel like you can't feel it as much when you swim, and you're still burning the calories with that, and toning yourself up. So I feel like it's literally the best exercise you can do.
Um, yeah, swimming's good. I think you've got to be doing resistance exercise. We're going to talk about this tomorrow, by the way, because Samson's just a monster. If you haven't seen, guys, there's a dentist from King's College London. He's a graduate from this year. He's basically a bodybuilder. So I'm gonna try and get some tips off him tomorrow night. But yeah, I prefer doing like weights or resistance exercise, and then like some high intensity stuff to get me going, as opposed to like the
I've been doing high intensity
slow swim, like a grandma swim or whatever.
max 30. Insanity max 30. Have you heard of it?
Say again. I just lost you a sec.
So Insanity max 30.
Uh,
Have you heard
I've
of it?
heard of these. I just it
It's
sounds like
literally
CrossFit to
yeah,
me.
yeah, so it's literally a high intensity training program, and it's like literally timetable. So you follow these videos 5 days a week, 30-minute workouts, and it does wonders. Like it's amazing. High intensity training is one of my favorites, definitely.
Yeah, I started using it like a power rope to try and do a bit more cardio
Oh,
because it's heavy as
you
well.
like
Yeah, it's heavy. It's really
yeah.
heavy, and a couple of minutes doing
How's that
that,
work for you?
you're just done. So
I've tried it, but I do want to do something like that. And like at my accommodation in Bulgaria, we have like a little garden that just the people in the building can share. So they've got like their little bars and stuff, so you can do like calisthenics stuff like that. So I want to look into that and maybe try that one day. We'll see.
there's a friend of mine that's doing
Just
that.
like body,
Yeah, bodyweight stuff's good.
it's hard though, but
Yeah,
yeah. But you know what? As a dentist, well, like I mean, I've already just started clinics, but I've already felt my back go a bit weird, from just leaning over for like hours. So I feel like I need to go into something like yoga maybe, because apparently yoga really helps with things like your back and stuff. And I feel like maintaining your posture is something very important, especially in a
I'm
career
gonna
that
do a video
like.
soon, actually, like a Reels thing or a TikTok or whatever, about neck exercises for dentists because
All
I
right.
can feel my head just dropping forward a little bit, and it's
Yeah, yeah.
you gotta
And it's just
strengthen
you
all of
don't want
these.
to grain. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's just that's important as well. So I feel like things like that I need to really look into because I don't want to start looking into that when I just started working
Oh no,
because
you gotta get
am
it
I gonna have
sorted
time for
early
that?
doors, really early doors.
Yeah, obviously I don't know like about you, but because obviously you've worked for a while now. So like, did you feel like when you started working, was it just no time to chill, or was it more like because obviously you've just started working? So
Um, well, I lived across the road from my practice in my first year because
that's mad.
well, it was middle of nowhere. I didn't, I wasn't gonna move out of home to then live in another city and then still have to drive to work. Like there was no point in doing
Yeah,
that. So I literally found the closest place I could, and that saved me a bit because the first few weeks, maybe first couple of months, are horrible. You just got so much to get through. It's a lot different to uni because you're seeing 10, 15, up to 20 patients a day. That's what you're going to aim towards, and you're doing everything 10 times faster than you're used to doing it. So yeah, it was quite tiring, and you just get home and be like, okay, I'm done. You just like sleep, and then eventually I got
and it,
myself into the gym a little bit, but it was not good for my fitness, that particular kind of um way of working, because you're just so exhausted by the end of it. You just haven't got the energy to go and do it, especially if you're living on your own and away from all your friends and stuff. So there's no social when you go to the gym.
yeah, yeah. Honestly, that's literally the easy way. I feel that's why so many people I've read on Twitter and stuff like complaining about gyms closing and stuff like that. So I feel like a lot of people mentally, I feel like the gyms are there to mentally help people people, especially in a time like this with the pandemic and the lockdown. A lot of people
Yeah,
will be
I think it's
stressed.
a bit weird this pandemic thing. I don't really support them being open because that's just a bit dumb. Um,
Mm.
if cases are going really high and stuff. But again,
It's true.
nothing that the government are doing making sense. So let's not really touch on that because we'll just start ranting.
That's that's going on night. I can say that right now. But like in terms of like you were saying about stress and like, did you feel like a lot of pressure in terms of seeing all the like? Did they give you a list of patients when you start working, saying you have to see all these today? Is there a lot of pressure seeing because
Um,
obviously I know it's the UDA system.
you in foundation dentistry, you don't have a target, so there's nothing formalized as a target. It's more by the end of the year you need to be up to scratch and up to speed. So they give you an informal, okay, you need to have done 800 to 1200 UDAs by the end of the year. But the majority of that comes towards the end when you get a bit faster. Start with this like patient, big gap, and then as you get a bit faster and stop running over, you start scheduling more and more. Um, but it's the whole thing of having to get everything checked again that slows everything up because the guy next door is who's in charge of you has got a list of 30
Yes,
patients.
like right at the end, like I think when you're done, you can send the patient home
Yeah,
to check the
yeah,
job.
you have to do it that way, and it depends what it is. Like if it's a checkup and you're assessing stuff, maybe you can send them back, and then when they come in for treatment, then they'll have a quick look and see if they agreed with what your treatment plan was, or you'll have a look at the radiographs at the end of the session and go, okay, yeah, you got it all fine there, but you missed this or you missed that, and then you just add it on, and or you'd call the patient, and go, we've had a look at your radiographs, a bit of a closer look, which we didn't have time to do, and then we've spotted a couple of bits that we probably want to have a little look at, and then you schedule them like that. So yeah, it can take quite a while to get to the point because you've not done lots and lots. Certainly, as a UK grad, you hadn't done lots and lots and hadn't looked at lots and lots of radiographs. So you have to kind of jump up a level quite quickly.
And like for example, let's say you're running out of time and you need to see the next patient. Can you just kind of like split it into two appointments or like put a template?
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, you're in charge. You're in charge, obviously, isn't it? Because it's your patient. You're not. You always have to remember that. Like, you don't have to do something you don't think is right. But then just you're a patient at the end of the day. You need to try and do right by them. So, um, usually it's fine. Um, and some people are happy to be rescheduled. Some people are happy to be just wait there or something. So you generally have to ask them, and they'll make that decision for you.
okay, so like I'm thinking you can probably get used to
I can't hear you again, man.
something to adjust. So I feel like it'll be something that you need to like adjust to then.
Yeah, it's same as anything new.
Probably, yeah. That's fine. I feel like that's the main thing people are worried about in my university in particular because we're not being taught the NHS. Obviously, we're not being taught how to deal with that. We're just being taught how to become dentists. So like in essence, we're literally coming from one country to work in a new country. Even though it's our country, it's still a new place because we've not been practicing there. We've done nothing related to dentistry in the UK. So we are technically coming from. We are technically overseas. You know.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the difficulty with everything, isn't it? I think there needs to be some sort of thing where um maybe there's a crash course of what to expect or something. And I think some of the lives that we've done maybe will help. Like we spoke to Sama Khalid a while back, who did something similar to you guys. I think he went to Romania though, not Bulgaria, and he kind of spoke about some of the differences. And he's been working a year or something in the UK. So people do it all the time. It's doable. Like it's not massively
Yeah.
different.
Some like, yeah.
So
It's something that's like so many countries out there, like Hungary as well.
yeah, something going on with your sound at the moment. Should we try them headphones? Just see how that is.
Yeah, let me stick.
Sorry, guys. I think we were dropping out with audio there. Any questions for myself or for Hassan in the comments? Just get those in. Rashid says, very informative interview, Hassan. Charlotte, your good intentions and hard work will be rewarded. Yeah, loads of comments, guys. Thank you. Um, yeah, you're just dropping out with the audio there for some reason.
Is that
Yeah,
better?
yeah, that's way better actually. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Um, okay, a question can I ask you? Am I
Yeah, yeah,
allowed to
sure.
ask questions as well? Um, in terms of like, obviously, I know you've not studied overseas and stuff, but like, how difficult is it in terms of applying for a job? Like, is it something you have to wait for a long time, or is it something that's stressful, or because is it something that's saturated? Would you say like something where it's very competitive and like you need to really outshine to get the place, or does it depend where you apply or how you
I
apply?
think once you have your performer number, you're going,
Hmm.
and it's pretty easy to get an NHS job. You know, that's you're pretty much you'll get a job most places. London might be difficult because a lot of people want to live in London, but the UDA rates in London are pretty
Yeah.
poor anyway. So I kind of question why you'd want to do an NHS
Okay.
job in London anyway. Um, so yeah, I think there's definitely jobs out there. Finding a good one, that's kind of the difficult thing, and it's very difficult to know until you actually get in a place. Because there's plenty
Yeah.
of practices who are a bit more exploitative than they are supportive, and it's
Hmm.
impossible to know which are which
Oh,
until
okay.
until you're in there. Because
Before
yeah,
actually
because
working
everyone
there.
gives like everyone could be fake for a 20-minute interview, whether it's the employer or
That's
the
so true.
person who's a
Yeah.
potential employee. So yeah,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But then let's say like you are having a negative experience, are you able to just leave and apply somewhere else, or do you have to stay there for the year?
it'll be depending on your contract, whatever your contract says. So
Hmm.
usually it's
Okay.
like a 3-month period. Usually, when I left the job that
Okay.
I left recently, someone was able to jump in
Yeah.
straight away, so we kind of waived that period. So
Okay.
that was a bit different.
Okay.
So it depends on the situation. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Okay.
Marnie's
Okay.
asking,
That's
what is
fine.
the application process for DFT like? For the UK guys, it was really, really simple, and I can only really speak to the UK side of things there. We basically had it all walked through by our university. They told us fill out this form. We filled it out, and then we submitted it. They did a couple of bits and pieces, references, etc., etc. And then they said, do this. We did that. So it's kind of, we were walked through it. The guys who are doing it from outside, I think it's much different. You'd have to go and check CopDent website for that, mate.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of. Do I suggest any particular dental company? I don't know what these dental companies are on about. Like, I've again because I did
I see it on some of the videos.
I did my. It's something that I'm just not in tune with because I did dentistry in the UK, so we literally just had it all
Yeah.
handed to us because we're in the system already. So I really can't.
Yeah. So it wasn't something you were like looking at.
Yeah,
So,
it's something that I can't really
yeah.
help much on that side.
Have you worked with any dentists that have graduated from overseas, or like have you seen any dentists work in the workplace or that like
There was one guy who was an older dentist. He qualified from like Beirut. I don't know how he got
Hmm.
across. I think he has to do ORE and stuff like that. Um,
Yeah.
other than that,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But then like they're not like treated differently or anything like in the
no, everyone's treated
workplace.
the same.
Because that's something other students fear. Like people have fear that abroad generally from people from who have spoken. They're all like, oh, they say things like, oh, we're worried about how they might treat us because we didn't graduate from the UK
Yeah,
kind of thing. And I
I think
mean,
there's probably a
personally, I
bit of
don't
that.
think that anything would
I think
happen
there
anyway.
probably is a bit of that, especially from UK grads who are
Mm.
the owners of practices, because and I mean logically the thought process would be, well, you know, if you can't get in the UK, is that a lower standard of applicant?
Yeah.
Which, you know, it doesn't really. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it has maybe got something to it, but once you've done a 6-year degree in dentistry, does it really make a difference? It's all down to the person at the end of the day, because you can be really on it at 18 and a
Yeah.
complete moron by 23, or the other way around.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And like it depends on your experiences and obviously your work. So would you say it's like important to create for us at least to create a portfolio while we're at university, so it's ready in time for like when we
Well,
graduated?
I would take photos of absolutely everything you do before, during, and after,
Hmm.
even just to
Okay.
improve yourself. If you never show it to anyone, then that's, you know,
Okay.
you know, you're only going to show the best stuff that you do, obviously. So, um, And
Yeah.
there's plenty. That's a really good thing. Like Instagrams, there's so many like examples of people who are doing things to the top standard. So you literally just need to copy them,
Yeah, it's true.
step by step
Yeah,
in
yeah.
in how they're doing things.
And they're
And you,
showing how they do it. I've seen a lot of videos that they're showing. There's also so many dentists out there that are willing to help as well. Like, obviously, you help so many people, and you take time making these videos to help people as well in the future. Like, someone applying to university abroad might be watching this in, let's say, a year's time. But like, there's, I think, Dr. Dhruv
he's on
Tanki. I think
Monday.
you're going to be having him soon. He's been really, really. Yeah, he's literally been amazing. Like with my work, I've been asking him for advice, and he literally tells me step by step, like do this instead. Like, for example, use a flat plastic, dip it in bonding, then shape the composite just so it's easier. Things like that. So little tips like that have helped. And it's just Instagram's a good way in terms of the way social media is growing,
Yeah,
I feel
there's
like,
a lot of
to even
guys
help
like
us
that who,
students.
I mean, I'm finding I have less and less time to reply to everyone individually. I'm telling people, look, come on the lives and ask the question there, because that's kind of the time that I'm
Yeah,
allocating to that kind of thing. Because I'm
yeah.
honestly, my fingers hurt from texting these guys. I'm not even joking. Like my thumbs literally. I literally no.
Are you
I'm dead
serious?
serious. My thumbs hurt from having to text people so much. I genuinely.
How are you finding it, like, being doing this more, like the whole podcast thing, the
I
YouTube
enjoy
thing?
the
Like, are you
podcast
enjoying it?
way more than I enjoy doing the Instagram, I think, because I get to speak to people and I don't have to type and stuff
Okay.
like that, and there's no people being angsty about why their
Yeah.
feature hasn't been put up yet and stuff like that. Um,
Do you
yeah,
get people doing that?
usually South Asians from the fresh
Oh,
variety.
oh, okay.
Yeah, we're
Great.
allowed to say that because we're from there, but usually,
Yeah, there you go.
well, so
Technically,
yeah,
yeah.
that's general. Usually, that's the maximum of the annoying side of things. Um, I think the podcast is more
Yeah,
fun,
yeah.
right? You get
I
to
totally
like
get it.
really
I totally
speak
get
to
it.
someone and find out what they're about.
Definitely. And the whole live chat thing's such a good idea. Like, it's just nice to be able to just like get in on the jokes kind of thing, and then ask something that you actually want to know about. For example, when you have people like that are doing, but obviously then even you save them as well, which is good, because then if I do miss one or somebody who might need it in the future, they can literally get the answers from there, because you do ask the questions as well, which is good.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you
If
know,
you're wanting to go to
um,
Bulgaria or you're thinking about going abroad or whatever, you can literally just watch through this video and hear about it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, any country, yeah, 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 exactly, exactly. But I mean, do you, is there like an overall impression from UK graduates about people who study abroad, or is there like, is this something that no one really cares
I
about?
can only speak for myself. I used to
Because
think
obviously, like,
maybe it was like a teaching quality gap, and I can't tell you whether
yeah,
that's true or not,
yeah,
because
yeah,
all I can
yeah,
tell you is my teachers were really on top of it. Um, and then I've seen
yeah,
some
yeah,
abroad dental schools, like their lectures are like endo with no rubber dam. Like the lecturer of endodontics is doing that. So I'm just thinking, well, that's pretty poor,
yeah,
really. So that's the only thing that I could say.
yeah,
Are you
yeah,
guys using
yeah.
the correct equipment? Are you guys doing in the correct stages and stuff like that? I
Equipment.
don't know. Oh, we're losing you.
Yeah, yeah,
We're
yeah,
losing
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of you here. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, is in the
Hold on.
picture.
Let me see what's going on here. You just turned into like a slit around your eyes. Right. Let me just.
Great. That reminds me of
I'm just gonna add you back in.
oh, go
See
on.
what happens. Yeah, we've not had to do this in a long time, guys. I'm just gonna add him back in. Sometimes what happens, guys, is if the internet connection of one of us is pretty poor, then some craziness happens and it
Oh,
resizes everything.
yeah.
So where are you? Let's move you back in. Okay, you should be back in now. Can we hear you?
Am I back in?
Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure exactly what
Okay,
happened there,
perfect.
but it wasn't happy with
No,
you.
it's all right. But no. In terms of like what we're taught, we do look into that as well because like we look at textbooks and stuff as well a lot. So we compare that to what they're teaching us at university and things. And you know, in our university, I can't speak on other people's universities, but like in ours in particular, I do feel like we do get taught good enough to like do the job and get it done properly. But then in terms of like kind of when in clinics, obviously. I feel like it depends who you have. So luckily with the professor I have, she's amazing and she's she doesn't do it for you, but she's guiding you each step of the way and she's also explaining why we do things certain ways and why we don't do certain ways or if you need to change something. Whereas you can get some professors that just might shout at you, for example. And I feel like if you're having someone shouting down at you isn't really going to be helpful. So luckily like, when I was going into this uni I was expecting that, but I've not had it yet. So far. So, everything's been positive in terms of like teaching and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's the same everywhere, isn't it? Yeah, I think if going back to your original question, that's probably the one thing that maybe people think about being a potential. Is there a stigma there? But again, it's down
Yeah.
to the individual to show that you're really good. And most people, if you do care about what you're doing, you will be. And if you don't care about what you're doing, it doesn't matter where you qualified from.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, question.
I mean, if it's something you really want to do, then go on.
What inspired me to do a podcast? Oh, we'll cover that later. I will come back to that, Anila. What are you saying?
What was the question? No, I was just saying that I agree with you. Like, at the end of the day, if it's something you actually want to do, then you will put it in within yourself to improve and do the best you can do. Because even with dentistry, I feel like, okay, yeah, I'll get my qualification, inshallah. But like at the end of the day, I have to then know what I'm doing and do a good job. So I have to put my own effort into work hard at university. Yeah, I can attend the classes and get the points, but I can just sit there and do like the worst job ever and be so lazy at things. But if I feel like if I myself am being active towards what I'm learning about because I enjoy it so much, then yeah. So, anyone who is thinking of applying, I'd say if you really, really want to do dentistry, then definitely like, if this is an option for you, go for it because, it's not easy, but it's something that's very rewarding and it teaches you a lot. But like you have to remember that it has to be something you really enjoy because I feel like being abroad and stuff puts you in that mindset like am I enjoying you'll think about it more like am I enjoying it, am I not enjoying it? So because I'm enjoying clinic so much, it's made me so grateful for being there, if that
Yeah,
makes sense. So I feel
yeah,
like if you're not enjoying it, you're not really going to be happy there, are you?
yeah. I can't really say it any better or any different. I think that's kind of uh, there's nothing to add
Yeah.
there really. Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's true. Because the uni I'm at, they literally push you to do well, and they make sure you do everything to the top standard. Because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are going to be given the degree, so they feel like the students they push out of the university need to be of good standard. So I feel like that also puts pressure on us in terms of doing the best we can do.
yeah. I think that's for sure. Like if you
Yeah,
have a university that's supportive, then you're only going to do better. And
yeah,
it sounds like you are doing all right.
yeah,
Should we shelve dentistry
yeah,
now?
yeah. What should we do? What do
Shall
you
we
want to
shall we
talk about?
shelve it? First of all, Anila, my podcast is inspired by a few things. So Dents of Insta was inspired by Humans of New York, and which is the Facebook page, and some of the gym feature pages. So that's what started that. And then my couple of my friends are like really big in the Manchester United YouTube community. That I've kind of met via going to the games. So they kind of have podcasts and stuff. So I thought we could do it for this, and it's been a couple of years in the offing, but here we are, and we're smashing it, and we've got like how many subscribers have we got now? Let's see, 609.
600.
609.
You,
There we go.
you smashed it. You smashed it. I was really happy when you called me before and told me. I was really
Because we
happy
were
about
like, last
that.
no
5-8,
last week. Do
right?
you remember when I went live with the guy from Australia, Avi? I don't know if you were on that one. We were on
Yeah.
632. No, 532. So in a week we've got like
532. So that's gone up very quick.
80, almost 90 subscribers. So it's been nuts. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, we're doing this
it's
every
good.
day, guys. So make sure you're here tomorrow. Uh, but yeah, that's why I like the podcast.
No, honestly, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, and it's a way to challenge yourself, like speaking to people and like challenging your not your ideas and your beliefs and stuff. So I think it's been fun. How have
Yeah,
you found the
definitely.
the guests so far?
Yeah, it
Because I know
has.
you watch most of them. Super fan right here.
Honestly, they're really cool. Like, you know, the fact is, like, sometimes I do. You know, for example, I forgot her name. Was it Jinx? You got from America. Um, the other day. You know, you think, oh, they're from America. Let's see what they think about things. You know, you pick people from like around the world because then they give their own perspectives and things, and you realize how different things are in the place they're from. So it makes it like 10 times more interesting.
Yeah, and
Does that make sense?
they
Because
kind of
you
like
kind of
the
go
guys who are a bit
into
out
that
there as
depth.
well. Like Jason, he's a
Yeah,
crazy guy. He's an amazing guy. He's crazy.
yeah. The is
Yeah,
this the oral
from Friday
surgeon?
night. Yeah,
The
he's so
blood.
good.
Yeah. Yeah. That was insane. And then I saw his Instagram and I thought, wow, this guy does a lot, you know. So it's these are all people, even if the students you kind of look up to and you kind of aspire to be, there's certain features or like things about them that you kind of want to, you know, be like, if that makes sense. So it's really interesting when you have people on here and you know they're doing different things. Like not everyone's you know when you say dentist to somebody who's not a dentist, they probably think they're doing the same thing, but it's
Yeah,
completely
I
different.
mean,
Completely different. Everyone
yeah,
does their own
that's it.
specialty.
That's exactly it. The specialties are all different. But I mean, you spoke to me
Yeah.
before. You know, I'm not actually interested in any of the dentistry at all because like there's this whole person
Yeah.
outside
Yeah.
of the dentistry, which is where we're going on to now, guys. So
Yeah.
if you want to hear all the inside deets about what Hassan is as an actual person, this is where we get these questions in. So you can get you
Oh.
can get really personal
Oh.
in the questions now, really personal.
Really personal. Oh damn.
Um,
Okay.
but I mean,
You know, I used to do.
no, go for it, go
Oh,
for it.
gone. No. You go. Mine's
No,
gonna be long.
go for it because mine's gonna
It's
be
just
long
gonna be
as
long.
well. So yeah, you hit it.
Oh my god. No, I was just saying like before I wanted to do law when I was a kid. Like I loved public speaking. I was a member of UK Youth Parliament for 3 years. Don't know if you heard of that. Like there was in every like area of England and like that was something I was really into. This was in my high school days, so we used to do a lot of campaigning and a lot of ribbon cutting with the mayors and things like that and a lot of speeches. So at a young age that's where I got my confidence to speak from. So I feel like from there I don't know how I went all medical. But from I remember on those days, I was like, I want to be a lawyer. I want to, you know, I want to fight for people's cases and that. But you know, life just takes you in any directions. But then again, it's not something I'm like I wasted time on. Do you get it? I feel like the skills I
Yeah,
needed in life. So no matter what you do, what aspect of life, no matter even if it's related or not related to, for example, dentistry, it's
yeah, I
helped.
think that's really important. And again, if we go back to the podcast question, um, I have this thing where you know when you're in the shower and you have shower thoughts and you have rants
Yeah,
to yourself in the shower, and you're like, oh my god, imagine if I was
yeah,
recording that. That would be sick. That like
yeah.
literally every time. Yeah,
That's the thought you
and
get.
now like can I
Yeah,
like take those thoughts and bring them into a podcast? That's the challenge for me, and
mm,
stop saying those filler words
that's a challenge.
and like and all those words that make you sound thick
Yeah, that's
even though
the
you might not be.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope I've not been saying a lot of them, but I feel like with you it's more pressure, like because obviously you're running these podcasts, you need to be sure you're not using filler words and you need to know what you're talking about and you have something set out. Like, do you have it all
What,
planned out before you do it? Like, as in what you want to
like a
talk about?
podcast?
What?
No, I am
Yeah. Oh,
completely off the
improviser.
cuff. Because I think there's no point
Mad.
being, you can't script your life. So why would I script a podcast?
Yeah, that's true. That's actually a really
So
good point.
if you saw, again, we'll go back to Friday night. Jason and me, there was no. I literally just said to him, "Do you fancy doing a podcast? Let's do a Friday night because I want to get a big audience on every Friday, and we'll make that the regular thing." I know it's kind of changed up because
Yeah.
of COVID, and we're back into lockdown 2.0. Thanks, Boris. But yeah,
Yeah.
but when everything calms down, Friday Night Live is going to be every week, and maybe there's one here and there. If someone really can't do a Friday, we'll do another day. But there's always going to be a Friday. And I
Yeah.
said to him, look, well, there's no topic. It's just going to be me and you chatting absolute, sh1t, and we'll just dive into who you are as a person,
Yeah.
what makes you tick, and
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
makes me tick at the same time,
Yeah.
and see if we vibe off each other, and then just have like an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
And that's what happened because we didn't talk
Yeah.
dentistry.
Yeah.
People in the comments were asking us to say, "What's your favorite luxator? What's your?"
Yeah. Yeah. I
Which is
remember.
great.
Yeah.
People want
Yeah.
to learn. People want to
Yeah.
learn,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
not going to knock that.
Yeah. Yeah. But I like how that's the thing with your podcast. I like how you want to integrate, do a bit of dentistry, but then also real life stuff, things that are like normal things. For example, what do you do for fun, kind of thing. Like just general chit chat kind of thing. And then from then the conversation just flows, doesn't it? You bring on random topics and
Do you remember the
you just go on
24-hour
about
podcast?
it.
Like there was one point in the
Yeah, that
morning,
was. I still can't believe you did that. That was insane. Like, how did you do that? Like, without
I
even knocking
barely had
off?
any tea or coffee either. I had like 3 or 4 teas. That was it. No coffee, no Red Bull. But no,
I need like.
there was one point in the morning where I lost it, completely lost it. I remember I was on with the guy
Right.
from Australia, Aiden, and then the two girls from the States, Jackie and Jess, the Perio girl, and jumping with Jackie. And I was like, "So, anybody care about the environment?" No. Okay, well, we'll move on then. And they were just like,
Yeah. Great.
but I would just my mind was
Wow,
just going
wow.
like a bit nuts because it had been
I know,
16
a
hours.
bit nuts. Obviously, mate, you've literally just, yeah, exactly. Sleep deprivation, and you're just constantly on this. But that was good. That was really good. Like, it was good for a good cause as well. So,
I'm
do you
doing
think
it
you'd do
here,
that again?
unfortunately.
Okay.
Fortunately, unfortunately, I don't know where you
Just sleep
fall in
like
that, but
3 days
yeah,
before.
we said we'll do it again.
Uh, just sleep like 3 days before, and you'll be
No,
prepared.
it's not even that difficult. I don't think anyway.
No, I'd
I have
find
my
it so
chair.
difficult.
I've I've got a bit more space now. Actually, I've
There you go.
rearranged the room a bit, so I've got a bit more foot space.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say like from before the podcast stuff, I like the you've put your good vibes thing, you've got your equipment, it's all like set up for you, so it's pretty good. In the mic as well,
Yeah,
so
thanks to the Patreon group by the way for the mic. You guys want to join in the group chat? Then it's £3 a month, and you get to help me buy better mics and stuff like that. But yeah, exactly. And
yeah,
then I think what we really want to talk about is when you get someone on, you say, okay, what are your values? So it's not like what do you like to do? Do you like to go running on a weekend? It's like what like is the thing that makes you do the things that you do?
get
Yeah,
out of
like
bed.
the core values that drive
Mm.
you. So go and like try and answer that question if you can.
That's funny because recently I've been thinking about that a lot. Like it sounds very cliche, but I'm a very firm believer of live every day like it's your last. I'm very, very firm believer of that. So like even times where you're like, should I do this, should I not? Like I just think what's the worst that's gonna happen? Like, if this is my last day on earth, I at least I've done it kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? And whatever I choose to do, as long as it makes me happy, then I'm gonna go for it. But that's one of the main things I do, like before I sleep as well, I think like, what have I done today? Am I happy with
Mm,
what I've done? Could I have done something better? Maybe tomorrow could be another day for that. And then even like it's really weird. Like mentally, I'm always doing like a review of my day before I sleep, and then I'm preparing for the next day. This happens every night, and I like it. It's the way I do things, but I mean, not that I've been doing it all my life. I've only started doing this
recently, yeah.
like a few months ago. I feel like lockdown, yeah, recently. So, you know, that's my take on things. And then like, for example, even when I was going Istanbul with my friends, I was a bit nervous about that. I thought, like it's a new place. I've never been on a holiday with friends before. Like I've always gone with family, but I've never been with friends. But it's literally been one of the best things I've ever done.
You should take it to
And
the
I'm
next
so
level
glad I did that
and
because I
go
feel
on
like
your
that's
own.
something I can. The, you know what?
I've
I've
done it.
always wanted to try that, but then I also get a bit
Three
like, have
months.
you done that? Oh wait,
Do
did
you know
you
the
go on
one that
your
I
own
keep?
that time? It's
Do
on
you know
your
what I
it's someone you
keep
go.
on talking about? Yeah, I went to Sri Lanka with my friend and all that, and then after that, it was 6 weeks
Yeah.
on my own.
How
Yeah,
was that?
honestly, I could have done that for the rest of my life if I had enough money, because I had my camera,
Wow.
I had all these incredible places to go see.
Yeah.
I was staying in nice hotels because I wasn't like I'm not gonna stay in a hostel. I'm not that guy. I'm a bit
Obviously.
prestige for
Yeah.
staying in
Yeah.
hostels and that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I know. There's like backpacking, but then there's actual backpacking with the
yeah, I'm
hostels and
backpacking
stuff.
with a
Yeah.
suitcase and like my neck pillow and and
Yeah.
my suits. I had my
Yeah.
suits
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
me. Like that's kind of the
Yeah.
backpacker I was. Yeah.
Did you actually? Oh my
I
god.
had like my nice shoes, my
That
suits. I could go to.
sounds fun. I didn't know
Well,
you did
no,
that.
this is like finding yourself. You know that whole. It's a load of crap really, but
Mm,
you need
mm,
good time to yourself to really understand what you like as a person and not do the
def
things that other people like because you're friends with them.
There you go. See, now that was my. I've been thinking about that a lot lately as well. Like, am I doing this for myself, or am I doing it just to make the other person happy? Am I liking this to make the other person happy? Or, at the end of the day, we're all entitled to believe in what we want to believe and follow certain views, or, just do whatever you want, kind of thing. Because we're all human beings. We've all got our own thing going on. But then, you do get certain individuals in life that like, oh no, don't do this, or you shouldn't do this, or you shouldn't do that. For example, this podcast, like, like it's shown I have so many good friends, like, there have so many people that are at my uni that have been supporting me for this and bigging this up,
I've
and
seen
it's
it,
literally
bro. Do
like
you know
touched my
we've
heart because
peaked at
it makes
35
you
viewers, which I think is like the highest we've had on a live stream on YouTube.
really,
On Instagram it was different. We had like a couple of hundred at
yeah,
times, but on YouTube
yeah.
this is the biggest. Yeah.
Yeah, Instagram's different. YouTube, you have to commit and like go on and stuff. So no, it means a lot that people have actually like wanted to come and see this and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, I want to show you as well. Because I've been following your post for a long time, and it's amazing. So at the end of the day, when you think like that and you surround yourself with positive people, people who want to push you up, then that's the way it is. Because then you help push them up as well
Yeah.
and bring them up. That's what I believe in, doing things together. I feel like I don't know what uni was like with you, but like in even at Bradford University, everyone wasn't the same. There were always the people that I'm still close with now who helped bring me up and I helped bring them up. But then there were other individuals who I didn't really get close to because they were kind of pulling you down, kind of thing, and not really helping build you as a person,
Yeah, I
if
think
that
there
makes
was a
sense.
lot of what you call crabs in a bucket within UK society as a whole.
Yeah,
And there were people
yeah,
that I know at
yeah,
uni and I love spending time with them. But the moment you try and do something
yeah,
different, which isn't the same as everybody else and the same
yeah,
thing that everyone else is doing, and you're doing something which is putting yourself
yeah,
out there in a different way and isn't where you initially. So
yeah.
if I meet you at uni and I'm doing all these things already, that's who you are, and they keep you in that box. The minute you try and step out of the
Mm,
box into a different realm and into a different way of doing things, people in the UK,
yeah,
and again, this is really kind of
yeah.
generalization. It's not going to be everyone, and there are people who
Generalization.
do support you, but there are people that then just drop off because, oh, they've changed. Oh,
Yeah, they say yeah,
they're
exactly,
different
and it
now.
doesn't
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense. But then again, yeah, they're different now. But then you have to then obviously it's literally all mental stuff. Like I feel like you have to be mentally so strong to be able to firstly accept that because that could be somebody you were close
yeah,
with for so many
and that
years.
kind of thing
Do
has
you know what I
happened
mean?
to me,
So you have to
and
be accepting that
whatever. I'm someone that doesn't care about
same.
these things anymore because at the end of the day, whatever, unless you've done something really bad, and you're actually at fault for something. If
Yeah,
people are saying things like that to you, then it's just a reflection of who they are and where they are in their life. It's nothing to do with you. So you don't take it
yeah,
personally.
exactly, and you have to just keep doing. Yeah, exactly. Like there's literally been like that with us as well, and I've learned that whilst being at university and whilst living abroad as well. There's been so many different situations that I was never in when I was in college, let's say, because in college, I feel like I was still immature a bit, but now like university, especially being abroad, has matured me so much that I've learned how to first respect my
Yeah,
own mental health, by not letting certain situations affect it that much. You literally have to shield it and protect it because it's so important to do that. But then also to value your respect as well. And if you want to do something that other people are not happy with, you shouldn't change that just
yeah.
to
You're
make
able to
other
see the
people
comments, by the
happy.
way. All right. So Sanya's
No.
asking how different is working as a dentist to studying dental school. For me, it's the pace of work. That's the difference there. And Neela says you're really good. Came to see Hassan, but you're actually articulate. Thanks for helping a lot of aspiring dentists. I'm not that articulate, really. I'm really not. If you want to see someone who's articulate,
Anila is amazing. Anila is someone I was at my university at Bradford and we had just caught up like the other day after so long and she's come on this live and it's just nice because she's seen me after so many years, even speaking. So, she's a really,
yeah.
really sweet
Well,
person.
if you want to see someone who's actually articulate, go and check out Russell Brand. That's kind of the level I'm judging myself against.
That's the
Well,
level you're aiming.
you've got to start somewhere and you've got to end up somewhere. So I'm like a 2 out of 10 at the moment.
Exactly,
That's
exactly.
what I'm giving myself.
Nah.
Um,
Well, you've hit so much, like you're doing
Bilal
amazing
Ahmed
so
says
far.
yes. Hassan, shout out Hill High School. Older Hill High School.
Well, yeah, that's my
And
high
then
school.
Henna says, Hassan, talk us through your diet. What helps you stay alert?
My diet right now, diet's non-existent. But usually, I love chicken, so I'm trying to like meal prep and stuff like that. That's when I'm trying to get back into shape. Um, but this week has been bad, because I've been home,
Mm,
takeout. Like I want my favorite takeout, and then there's another takeout one and another takeout one. But yeah, yeah, I mean, you know more about diet as well. Like I feel like you've done meal prep,
yeah,
haven't you?
but I'm not very strict on it. I just try and go. I'm on a bulk. I'm trying to get to bed heavier every day. That's
Yeah.
it. There's
That's completely different too
there's
about the
no
stage I'm
there's
at. Yeah, yeah,
no
I know. You get.
sophistication about what I'm doing right now. At some point, I'm gonna have to do an hour of cardio a day. But at the
Yeah,
moment, it's just shovel down as
you're
much as I
bulking.
can, throw as much weight on the
Yeah,
bar as I can. And I'm doing it slowly. This is the thing. So
yeah.
I'm doing slowly putting the weight
Okay,
up
okay,
because, I've got a little bit of.
okay. That's controlling it. It's not
Oh
like a
no,
dirty bulk. It's
the
like
actual
a
bulk is
clean
dirty,
bulk, but
but
like
my
for
weights, the
it's
actual food is
okay.
dirty. But like the pace
Alright.
the
Really?
pace at which I'm putting the weight on the bar is
Yeah.
controlled because I don't want to get an injury, which is going to set me back.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I sprained my foot in lockdown from doing workouts like high intensity, and then I was freaking on the sofa for like a month, and I put on so much. So yeah, you don't
Yeah,
want to
so
do
I
that.
mean, yeah, I mean, I used to be really, really strong at one point, and I'm still half. I'm going to say about half in some of the lifts of where I was previously, and that's really sad. But, but at the same
Yeah,
time, I'm not in
yeah.
a gym anymore.
But
It's different. Yeah, it's
you'll get
different
back
doing it on
there
your
again.
own. Different without a spot,
Yeah,
someone
it's
like to
different.
beat.
You're doing it at home
Trying
now.
to beat someone is so much more fun than
Yeah,
doing it at home.
yeah,
But what can you do?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I need to get back into actual gym stuff because I've just been doing swimming right now and
Mm,
workouts at home. So gym is something I wanna after COVID,
yeah,
hopefully, if that even happens.
soon, hopefully, with this vaccine coming out, right?
If that even happens. Don't know how many years it'll
Yeah.
last for.
What's something that makes you feel inspired or your best self? And don't gas
Ooh.
me up. Give me a real answer.
Mm. Is this from the story reply? When I said I was like you. No, your profile thing is amazing because I see so many different people doing like it's amazing. You know why? Because I'm studying this degree, but I'm seeing people the outcome of how what people have done with their degree. So many different branches and so many different things, and Instagram is literally like a glass ball. You literally look into someone's life and you see what they're doing as what they want to show you. And I feel like that's something that I also want to create about myself. So it's kind of that's already an inspiration. Like today I made my Instagram profile public and I thought, you know what, let me make it into a dental related one now. I feel like I'm at that stage. Whereas I think a month ago I thought, no, I'm too early for that. And that's something, like I said, that mentality I've still got inside me. Where I'm holding myself back because I feel like it's too early. What are people gonna think? But then I also have to now think, do what you want to do. If you want to do
Mm,
it, do it. So if you want to make that profile, go for it. Make that profile. But also, what inspires me is seeing people around me do
yeah.
well. So, for example, this year we've started clinics, and I've seen these people grow from first year. It sounds cheesy, but like, there have been people who have now opened Instagram accounts, and they're doing amazing. And I've been helping support them because I feel like that's what someone needs is support. Someone pushing them, saying, "Yes, do this." Like, for example, you saying that so many people have been watching. It literally makes me really happy because it's just that you've got people around you that want you to do
166 so
well.
far, by the
And
way.
at the end of the day, what
Total, yeah.
166?
Total peak playbacks.
Wow, wow. Oh, mad. But that's what keeps me going is the people around me. So that when you see those quotes, keep positive people around you. That's literally I now see what it means by that
Yeah,
because it keeps me
I'm a big
going.
believer in
Because
that.
that's what life is. We're all yeah. And I'm seeing it happen now that I'm in my later years at uni. And I'm approaching the end. And I'm only in fourth year out of six, but I feel like I'm approaching the end now. Like
Mm,
I'm past halfway, so I feel like now is the time where I'm actually seeing how people are now starting to build their careers. We're literally starting to build our careers now in a way. So that's what. Yeah, I feel like it's that seeing people around me do well and trying to do well for myself with their support is
yeah, I'm a
something
big
that's really
believer in
nice.
the old kind of saying or quote. I don't know if it's a quote or the adage. You're the average of the people that you spend the time with the most, which at the moment is no one.
Yeah, that's
At the
so
moment,
true.
it's no one. So
Yeah, actually, let's be honest. It's a podcast. You spend time with like hundreds of people. Like you're on a podcast with people every night,
But it's more
so
to do with your friends, isn't it? You know,
it's
if your
quite a lot.
friends are people who push each other on, and
Yeah,
your
yeah,
friends are people who are reaching for the
yeah,
stars in
definitely.
their life.
You know,
Yeah.
in our university. No, no, no. It's true because in our university, with our going back to dentistry, sorry, we're in groups. So it's like groups of 7 and 8 people, and you're with the same people every single day. So obviously, you want to get along with them, and it's amazing with my group. I'm very lucky to have them, and it's like, for example, patient hunting. You know, instead of everyone doing it for themselves, what we do is we get like five each, put it in like a table, and then we distribute them. Whoever needs the patient last minute, we give them the patient. I had two patients booked in. Someone didn't have a patient. I gave my second patient away. I said, take it. You need a patient. I'd rather you have a patient than
It's
not have
the
one than me
teamwork,
having
isn't
two.
it? It's
Next
the
week I'll
team.
get someone else.
Yeah.
It's literally teamwork, and that's how you get through university. That's what I've literally learned from it. And I feel like when you give, I feel like in life when you give, no matter what someone believes in terms of what religion, whatever. But what I believe is if I give someone something, it'll come back to me one day.
Yeah, I probably you wouldn't have found me
I help
giving away
somebody.
my
Else get
patients in uni. I was single-minded and a bit of a psycho, a little bit insane. Um,
No,
but
no,
yeah, I think it's a
it's not
different
something you have
culture. I
to do.
mean, we weren't allowed to give away patients because they were allocated to you, so it's a different system as well. Um,
Yeah, yeah, it's different. It's different. It's
Hassan,
different.
we've
Yeah.
got a question from Henna again. I'm gonna try to change this one. Um, and it's gonna be the question about a podcast. If you had your own podcast, first three guests, who would they be? Why? And we will
You
discuss
firstly.
each. No,
Let's
let's not
gas you
because that's
up.
just boring. You've done this now.
No, I'd have you because it'd be interesting to switch and
You could,
interview you. But then I feel like I've been doing that as well. I feel like it's a bit of both. But okay, that's different because it's like, would
no,
it
no,
be a
this is
dental
just it's
podcast? Does it have
just
to be
your
people who are in
podcast.
dentistry? That's hard.
And by the way, this isn't just a
Um,
dental podcast, which you guys are going to be seeing very soon. Shock horror.
oh yeah, oh yeah. um, I've literally got no answer to that. I'm trying to think who I would actually interview. Um, it would definitely be the Prime Minister. One of them definitely would be the Prime Minister because it's just sometimes it's shocking to see how they're running the
Yeah,
country and the decisions
but they'll
that have
just
been
lie
put
the whole
forward. So
time.
you would love. Yeah, that's true. But then I would love to challenge that because sometimes you see on the live interviews how they just dodge questions. I wish I was a reporter there because I wouldn't let them do that. I fully wouldn't let them do that. I would literally stand up and be like, "No, answer my question right." I literally don't go around the bushes. Then I'll probably get kicked out. But either way, you're trying your best. But yeah, the prime minister would be one person definitely. Um, three people. I don't know. You got to help me on this
I don't
one.
have your brain, bro. This is your mind. We're delving into your mind, not my
My
mind. Everyone
mind.
knows mine. Rogan, Russell Brand, and then the third one keeps on changing, but probably at the moment it would be like I don't know, Khabib or someone. Khabib?
Eh?
Come on.
Oh,
At the
Khabib.
moment,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
probably
Okay.
someone like that.
It depends what's going on in life. Yeah. You know what, Trump? Definitely Trump. I've been reading his politics lately a lot, and again, I know I've mentioned two politicians now who have been leading two big countries. Like people with that much power, you would really want to ask them questions, and I want to know how their mind works in a position where you've literally running the country and you've got so much pressure on you. How does it feel like to be like that, and how does it affect you in terms of? Like, I feel like, do they actually want to do something in their heart, but they're not allowed to do it? Do you know
Mm.
what I mean in terms of a decision making? Because I feel like not everything is based on what they really want to do. They have to make other people happy. That's literally what presidency is, and being a prime minister. That you literally have to make other people happy because you don't
I
want to
think
be
a lot of,
slaughtered for it.
from my point of view, a lot of politics is just like a show, and whatever they say and do, especially in America, it doesn't actually change anything. Like they don't call the shots. They're just some
Yeah,
clown
yeah,
who
yeah.
shoots the mouth off.
They don't. They're
Yeah,
literally the puppets. No, no. Honestly, it's literally it. Like, there's the people behind the scenes that are doing everything.
yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Yeah.
It's literally the people behind. Yeah. No, I agree. I
So
agree with that.
really,
I agree with
you
that.
want to go back into law and become sort of
There you go. See, now you
yeah.
see my low side coming out now. Like literally, like it was really good time in my life. Like I've got some cool awards from it as well, so it's just something to look back on, I guess. Like it's something I've really enjoyed, and you know what? I really like the campaigning part of it, getting people to vote for you, putting your posters out there, putting your face everywhere. So it was pretty fun at the time. getting a
Guys,
little
never
support
trust
group.
someone who asks you to vote for them.
Great.
Okay, another question. Can dentists take a course to make maxillofacial prosthesis, or is that a different degree? I have no idea. I think it's plastic surgery, maybe? I think it's a weird mix, isn't it?
Max,
It might be
it's the Max
Max. Yeah.
Max. Yeah. With that, you've got to do 3 years of med school
I
after
think
dental school,
there
or
was
vice
a,
versa.
there was a video I saw of a guy who had a big chunk cut out of his cheek.
I
That's
saw that.
nuts.
I saw that.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. That was insane. Like some people go through, even, you know what, even seeing things like that, like talking about my mindset again, it makes me really appreciate what I have and not to complain about the little things that stress me out in life sometimes. Do you know what I mean? Like those stresses go away then because you know, you look at what other people could be going through and how they would love to switch
Mm.
positions with you. So I feel like, you know, being a university student has really strengthened me
Imran only
mentally,
says that he should
which is
go on your
something.
podcast. Apparently.
Oh my God. Okay. Yes. Yes. Imran. Defo. Yeah, I agree that he's my cousin from
Okay, nice.
Germany.
And Anila says she didn't. Oh, there's some good ones actually. Sacha Baron Cohen, yes. Joe Rogan, which is my number one because his podcast is just insane, really, really good. And Zach Galifianakis, is that the fat guy from the Hangover? Is that the fat guy from the Hangover?
Wait, are these all? Are these?
I think
I
it
don't
is.
know.
Let me Google it. I'm pretty sure he's the fat guy from the Hangover. Yeah, he is. What? Yeah.
Is he?
Oh,
Okay,
just
he's funny.
yeah. So he's a bit of a comedian. Fair enough. What did your family say about you moving to Bulgaria?
Oh,
Any
I think
opinions bother you, and what did you do about it? Well, they're not bothered.
my family, my family were very supportive. I was very lucky about that because when I found out I didn't get into Leeds University, I had a decision to either go abroad or stay on in Bradford University, do 2 more years, and then apply as medicine postgraduate, which is longer, right? So I remember sitting down and my brother was like, "It's up to you, but we would love for you to go abroad. You need that, you know, more than a degree. It was about
Yeah.
the experience. They know me more than anybody, and I feel like back then I was in such a shell. I was so afraid of doing things myself and being on my own kind of thing. So I feel like forcing myself, I had to literally in my head, like for even when I was in Bulgaria, don't get me wrong, I remember it was the last few days before my parents even left, and I said to them, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can stay here. I don't know if I can go to university here. And they were like, but we've enrolled you now, and are you sure? Then I said, okay, let me give it a go. And
Kicked you out the
you
door.
know,
They sent you to the
it
airport.
really. Yeah, you stay there. You stay there. No, but, yeah, no, they were very supportive, and they said literally like, you know, just give it a go and see how you find it. And you know, I passed first year. Then you know, it's the reactions to passing my exams
Mm.
that really got me going. Like you know, how happy they were and how proud they were of me coming back home, and them literally just seeing their reactions to me passing my exams was something that really motivated me to continue doing what I'm doing
Yeah,
and
I'm
just
gonna
keep
guinea
going.
pig you now a bit. So if somebody asks you how are you, how are you doing, what's your answer to that question?
Um, I'm better than what I could be. I'm not the best right now,
Okay,
but I'm better than what I could be
now
because
listen to this question. How are you
yeah, go
really
on.
doing?
Oh, I'm good. No, I'm actually good because I'm on here and I'm having a good time. And you know what? Like having so many people support me on this is just it really has made me very happy, and I'm very lucky to have such good people in my life. Yeah. So I actually am like you know what it is. Every day
Yeah.
is different, right? Some days you have up days, some days you have down days. It's literally life is an emotional roller coaster, but I feel like them right now. I'm in a good place. I'm at home. Because it's nice to be home, but I'm now missing uni, so we'll see what happens with that. And for now, yeah, good.
That's got you a little flustered, isn't it? Because you can feel like the intention
That's
behind that. It's like deep.
that's hard. Yeah, that's deep. That's a
What do
deep
you
one.
reckon about
That
that for my new opener?
feel like defo do it. No, no, honestly, do it. Like I feel like it does you a bit, but then you're relaxed afterwards, so it's good for your guests.
Because like I've been hesitating. I've had it ready, like saying, okay, I've got Hassan on. How are you doing, Hassan? You'll give your answer. Yeah, I'm doing really well.
Yeah, but that's
Hassan,
just
how are you
general.
really,
Yeah,
really doing? Oh.
you, you have to keep the face
No, no, but
straight as well. You
it's a
can't
genuine
smile. Yeah,
question
you literally have to be like,
because everyone's got the face, and then what's really going on behind there? Like, what's really going on?
Yeah, everyone's facing that math. Yeah. But no, I'm very happy. Alhamdulillah, everything's good so far. I feel like when I go back to uni and the stresses go up again because of all the patient hunting and stuff, I'll be like, but things always work out in the end. There's no point stressing to the point where you think everything's gonna go wrong, because at the end of the day, like, life is short and nothing can be so bad that, like, it's worth not living for. Like, live the day that you've got and make what it is. And if it is negative, try and get the positives. Literally try and milk out the positives of everything. Try and squeeze out the positive. That's what I do. So, like, when something negative happened in the past, I'm like, oh yeah, but this happened because
Yeah.
of this, maybe I can get this out of it. And literally, if you have that mindset, you're gonna be fine for a
Yeah,
long
I
time.
think that's pretty great, really. I mean,
And I feel like
no,
in
go for it,
dentistry,
go for it. It's your podcast today.
sorry, and in dentistry, I feel like mental health is something very, very important. And you hear all these statistics and stuff like that, and not only in dentistry, in university students' lives. And I feel like, especially in our culture as well, it's very stigmatized and very, it's not something that's very openly discussed. So I feel like, I want to be part of the people that want to change that. Definitely, like, mental health is something that's so important and something that needs to be raised and openly discussed to the point where people are actually comfortable talking about it, because we were like that as friends in university. I remember in first couple of years we all struggled and we were all there for each other, and that's how we got there. We used to have counseling sessions. Whoever's watching, they're probably going to laugh if they're in my group. We had counseling sessions where we literally sit there and talk to each other about our
What,
problems. And
formalized? Was this
it
formalized,
was
or this is was
it
this
was
like
nice. No, no, what? It was a bit of both, but like, it legit sometimes was very deep. It was so deep at times. Like, it was one of those depressing days where, like, you leave uni and it's 7 p.m. and it's dark, and like, you just you feel lonely. But obviously you've got your friends there. But then I feel like when you discuss things openly with people who you trust and who understand you on that level, things change.
Yeah,
Like,
I
turn around.
remember it would always come
I
like
feel
a
like
point where it's always this time of year because everything is just dark and gloomy, and then I'd call up
yeah,
me and my friend
it's true.
crew. We lived in the same house for like 6 years or something. We were the whole way through uni. We were either like next door in
Mad.
first year because of halls, or we lived together for the rest. And our
Yeah,
thing was like, okay, we're going Nando's,
yeah,
then we're going coffee shop and tea house, and then we're doing all of these things, and it was crazy because you kind of just get to unwind and just let it all go a little bit because you in Newcastle, it's a small city. I don't know
yeah,
if you've been.
yeah.
You can walk from one end to the other. You can walk from one end to the
I
other.
have. Yeah,
So on the
yeah. It's
walks, because
tiny.
it's cold, you just like it's very therapeutic. Something about it.
You're thinking about
It all
things.
just comes out.
Yeah, yeah. You're thinking about things and very deep. It all just comes out, honestly. Trust me, we've been to the same thing there. Trust me, we've been to the same thing. But it's a good thing as well. I feel like with things like this, discussing things and being open about things, not too open, obviously. You've got to make sure whoever you're talking to is someone who will actually help you, and you're on the same page. But when you found that person, then everyone's got their own person for that. You know,
Yeah, and I'm
it's
trying to get
something
it
that's
out
good
here
for
now
you.
in front of thousands of people online, but you're holding out.
Great.
You're holding out well. Um,
Oh, great.
Shireen says, Hassan, how many lives have you got? And Shamim says they're proud of you. Hassan, keep up the hard work. And Amani Bashir, who tagged me in something the other day, thank you for that. Would you say working as a dentist is more stressful
Yeah,
than
Amani
dental
Dent.
school? Yes and
Oh,
no.
that's a good question.
I think that's an impossible question because are you working somewhere you like? Are you working in a system that you like? Are you doing lots of treatment that you like doing? Those are all questions that you have to answer before you can answer that. So it depends. That is a very crap answer, but
Mm.
probably the best I can give you.
Yeah.
Um,
That's the thing with dentistry. It's very dependent upon where you're working
yeah,
and how you're
because it's
working
so
and what you're
varied.
doing.
You look at Brett Gilbert. He's loving it
Mm,
because he only does the stuff that he loves. And then there'll be guys, who are doing lots and lots
mm,
of stuff that they're having to do because they've got bills, and then you're not going to love it because that's a whole different
yeah.
mindset and area to come from in your life. Yeah.
Mm, definitely. Yeah.
Is there anything that's caught your attention in anything you've been reading recently that's interesting that we can debate?
I feel like So in terms of like readings, is what I really piqued me is COVID. And do you think, I was going to ask you this, do you think it's right to keep dental practice open? Because that's a big thing that's like discussed online. Like a lot of people are like, should they keep it open? Practices are complaining because they're like, yeah, we're not having patients, so why are we opened, kind of thing. And especially the NHS practice, because they have to stay open, don't they? The private
I
ones have got
think
a
if you can
choice.
open safely and it's possible to be open safely, then yeah, go for it. But at the same time, it's
Mhm.
more than just seeing the patients. Have you got staff who are comorbid? Have you got staff who live with someone who's got comorbidity? Because there is a risk of transmission,
Mhm. Mhm.
and if you
Yeah,
are a practice owner, which I'm not, I think that takes precedence over people who are in pain. And there are people who will be willing
yeah,
to do that, if they can get those things sorted out. But I think your staff and the staff's families are the
yeah,
first thing that you've got to look at. Um, so again, kind of
yeah.
like a
Okay.
crap non-answer. Another, it depends. It depends on the situations. If
No, no,
everyone's
no.
young and live on their own, then it's
No, no,
fine.
no. It does, it does. Yeah, yeah. And then another thing that's really piqued my interest is when lockdown 2 happened.
No,
Do
I
you
didn't
agree
agree with
on
them opening
schools being
full stop.
open? Yeah, yeah. And
Universities
universities as
was a
well.
slightly different situation, but they're not even.
Yeah,
They shouldn't have been opened in terms of the halls of residence and stuff like that. It should have been done from home because they're only doing Zoom
yeah,
webinars anyway, unless you're.
yeah. Exactly. This is the thing I don't understand. That's the thing. I don't know what my uni. The decision was made today, but I think we're going to find out tomorrow or the day after if they're going to open. If they open, I'm looking for a flight next week. If not, then I stay. But it's just one of those. Like,
Dentistry is
are they
different
going to
though,
do it?
right?
Are they not?
Dentistry is
I
really
don't know.
different
I
because
personally
you're going to
think.
see patients.
Yeah, like we're working with aerosols. We're literally in patients' mouths, so we're literally at high risk. I feel like we're at such high risk. When I got back, I did a COVID test because I just thought, let me get it done before I even see anybody. And alhamdulillah, everything came negative. But like, it's like, am I gonna have to do that every time now because I'm seeing patients all the time? And even if we're wearing
PP's
PPE, I
probably
feel like
okay. I
still,
mean, most of the PP's
you
fine,
know,
and the thing that
yeah,
gets me is these other students who've essentially been shoveled into holes. So these developers who built these huge,
mm,
grandiose halls of residence aren't going to go bankrupt. That's essentially why they've done it. That's literally the only reason
yeah,
they've kept
yeah,
the
that's
universities
true.
open.
I'm just I'm just like curious to see how the government's gonna basically fix the financial situation because let's be honest, everyone's gonna be suffering from this. Like even with lockdown too, like most of the closed anyways again, businesses are affected. Um, traveling, people are traveling less. Things have just changed, and my biggest question is when do you think
All right.
like they've now released a vaccine, right? Pfizer. So it's like they then said things these quotes they put on the papers. I don't believe them anymore because they're just silly. Like back to normal
Maybe
by spring 2021. But like, how do you know? How do you know that? How do you know that? Will you stop putting false hope in the public because that's just gonna help them get through lockdown. But let's be real. We need to be real about things now because I feel like one day there might just be riots. People are gonna go crazy, honestly, if they're gonna keep locking things down and locking people up because this pandemic's not just gonna disappear. And especially with my university, they're closed for 2 weeks, but what's 2 weeks gonna do? I feel like they should have just announced let's close down for at least the semester and then
here's the
come
thing,
back
right?
next semester.
Other
But
countries in the world, we are literally in one of the worst responses in the world. Literally in one of the worst responses. So that's
I
the
agree.
that's the
I
paradigm
agree.
you have to look at it from.
Yeah, yeah,
Look at New Zealand, look at Australia.
yeah,
They have 0 cases and they are
yeah,
no different to us.
yeah,
They just cut the flights in, said everyone gets tests,
yeah,
wait till there's nothing, then we'll slowly reopen.
yeah,
And they're working with normal
yeah, exactly.
PPE. They don't have to wear these crazy masks anymore. All these things. They've got test and trace that works.
Yeah, yeah. But the UK is a mess. Yeah, the UK is a mess the way they handled it. They handled it so poorly.
No,
I feel
yeah.
like even Bulgaria handled it better than them. They closed everything so
Well,
much earlier than the UK. Like I came home like a month before lockdown even happened
yeah,
to
and
the
I'm
UK, the
not
first
going to
lockdown.
dive in too hard on this because there might be people who really disagree with me, but you've essentially in the
Mm,
Conservatives now, you've got the BNP slash EDL,
mm,
a
mm,
single issue party, which is Brexit, have now been thrown into the
yeah,
biggest upheaval of modern society in living memory and most people's lives. Even going back to maybe Second World War is when we've had something of this nature.
yeah,
And
yeah,
the people who are in power now, their entire situation is just to asset strip and to get Brexit
Yeah.
done so that they don't have to pay taxes because the EU is bringing in
Yeah.
tax evasion laws. This is the
Yeah.
entire reason this whole thing's going down. And
Yeah. It's true.
afterwards, we'll see what happens. Literally, we could have been
That's
with
the thing.
10,000 deaths if they
So
tried
this.
that properly. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the whole situation is so unprecedented. It's like we don't know what's going to happen, and that's what scares people the most, I think, in terms of like how are people going to continue with their lives. I mean, yeah, we're still trying to now. This lockdown isn't as bad as the first lockdown, but you know, how many are we going to have? How long is it going to take? This whole vaccine thing, is it going to work? Are people going to trust the vaccine? There's just so many questions, and it's just,
Who knows?
you
I
know,
mean,
you
it's
don't know
not
how
come
long
from
this,
our government,
you
so it's probably fine.
know.
It's come from Germany, so
Yeah. Yeah,
if
there
they
you go.
said it,
Yeah, I should be
ignore it.
fine
You know, the
then.
Germans come out with it. Okay, I probably believe them because
Yeah, yeah.
they're a bit more
They're
reliable.
always at top with
Yeah,
pharmaceuticals. Yeah, definitely, definitely.
yeah. I think that's.
But
I don't want to get too
see
political
see what.
because I don't want to lose half my subscribers, but you know, maybe one day we will.
Uh,
Man, this has been good. I think we'll probably start to call it a day there. Any last questions from the guys, to me or to Hassan? Make sure to join us every day during lockdown. We're going to do similar things. We're going to have different guests on. Hassan will be in the comments as always.
yes.
Tomorrow we've got Samson Gahir. He is a bodybuilder slash dentist slash personal training coach. So it's going to be interesting to speak to him. If you enjoyed the stuff we've been doing and you want to be part of the Dentist of Insta community, we've got a Discord group. If you want to have a look at that, it's in the Patreon group, which starts from £3 a month, and that's how I've been able to improve the quality of the equipment that we're using this in the streams and stuff like that. Hassan, has been a pleasure, man.
It's been amazing. Thank you. Like I've waiting for this for so long, and we finally done it, so it's good. Because we've been speaking for ages, and I was like, no, let me first do my clinical experiences first, and then see we could talk about
This
things.
isn't a
Like
dental
but
podcast.
no, it's been
Let's
great.
not
It's
forget.
been yeah, it's not. I think I'm just forcing you with the dentistry. No. But honestly, thank you for having me. It's been amazing, and we'll keep in touch.
Yep.
And I'm looking forward to the rest, whatever's coming up this week. You've got a good lineup, so everyone else should tune in. They're really interesting.
Yeah, we've and not at all overly dental, so everyone's welcome and everyone's kind of
Yeah.
as you heard today. It's more about life than anything else. Make sure to follow Hassan on Instagram if you're not already, although I think most of the people here are already following you. Hassan.actor95 on Instagram, and you haven't got a YouTube channel just yet, but maybe one day.
We'll see. We'll see. But no, thank you for having me, and thanks for everyone for tuning in.
Thank you
It's been
guys.
great.
Make sure to take a little picture, stick it on your stories. We'll be sharing them if you do that. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, like button, and check out the Patreon group if you're interested as well. We'll see you tomorrow. See you later, guys.